Like this. Hit it.
The Roger Report live morning show. Weekdays at 9 a.m.
Say y'all, I was on Roger's panel a few times and I couldn't take it. The heat. I got out the kitchen. It was hot. I was sweating. I had to get out.
He's Roger, and he's right.
Check this out.
We can live or die. You choose. I have spoken to you a lot of times in hatred and anger, and you have not heard me. Well, you had better hear me today. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America. You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillars. And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity? Should we be put down and shot to death for this request? If so, you can aim your guns. What the...
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another edition of the Roger Report Live, the best show on social media. If you are new to the channel, go ahead and take a moment out to hit that like button, because this is where you're going to find the best content on social media, and you don't have to worry about it because you're going to have me right here to make sure that happens. And if you've already been coming to the channel for a while, then go ahead and hit that like button, because you already know what time it is, and you know that this is where you're going to get the best content on social media. It's not a mystery to you at this point. You've seen other people do it. You've seen other people do it well, but what you have not seen is anyone do it quite the way I do it. So make sure you hit that like button, and everyone, yes, everyone, take a moment out to share the content, y'all. There are so many people who need to get great content like this, and it's just a small thing you can do to help the world be a better place. And isn't that what we want at the end of the day? Don't we want the world to be a better place? Of course we do. So share the content out. Share it through your social media. Share it through word of mouth, or even text someone's phone. But do what you got to do to help spread the word. All right, folks, today we are going to be talking about a concept that we really need to pay attention to, that we put on ourselves, other people put on us, and it's on black men and no one else. Okay? We're going to talk about black men must be perfect. Okay? That's what we're dealing with today. Black men must be perfect. Okay? And we're going to get into this good and heavy, y'all. Now, before we go too deep into this, I want to say shout out to all the people who gives me views on a regular basis. I appreciate y'all big time. It's great that, I have a good core group of people who give me views on a regular basis. Shout out to all the people who make comments after the streams. They help with the algorithm. I appreciate it. It helps out big time. Folks have even gave me some good ideas with certain comments that have been made after the streams. Shout out to all the people who hype me up every chance they get, y'all. Make sure you do that. You get a chance to hype me up, take it. Be like Puff Daddy was back in the day. Take that, okay? Make sure you hype me up. And shout out to everyone who hits that like button, y'all. And keep in mind, like buttons are good at any time. If you happen to catch a show on a different day, different time, maybe it was something before you found the channel, make sure you hit that like button every chance you get. So every video you go to, hit that like button, and definitely go back and see the ones you haven't seen already. Always do that. Get it from the beginning, y'all. Get it from the beginning. You do your own personal marathons, okay? Do your own Roger Report Live personal marathons, and you hit the like button every single time, no matter how long the stream has been up. Okay, shout out to all y'all. And I want to give a special shout out to the sponsor of today's stream, because we have people who become financial contributors that go above and beyond the call of duty. And they make the show what it is. I can't do things the same way without these folks. So shout out to my main man, Chief Rocker. He is the sponsor of today's stream. Shout out to you, brother. Now, that brother took care of me in a real way, big time, since I've been doing this and since he done found this channel. So shout out to Chief Rocker, y'all. One of my top supporters. Shout out to Chief Rocker. Appreciate you big time, my brother. Appreciate you big time. Okay. Now, let me give some shout outs to some of the first people to check in this morning as well. It's always good that when you start a show, you got a couple folks here and there. So shout out to the Highlander of today's stream, MJD2, y'all. MJD2. He's the Highlander of today's stream. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. I believe that's his first one. And y'all got to make sure y'all get some Highlanders under your belt. If you ain't got no Highlanders, what is you doing? Okay, what is you doing if you ain't got no Highlanders? That don't even make sense. Okay, that don't even make sense. Shout out to Mr. Suge, to you coming in right behind him, representing for the pit crew. Glad to see you here, my brother. Glad to see you here. We got Tunnel Runner in the building. Great to have you as well. Great to have you. We got my main man, Trail Bentley, representing as he always does. Hashtag long live habitual line steppers. Hashtag Negroes in the wilderness. Hashtag dignity over vagina. Hashtag Al Gore's babies. Hashtag Hell Hydra. Shout out to Devon Townsend is here. What's going on, my brother? Great to see you. Great to see you. We got the pit master himself in the building, my main man, who helps keep a little bit of order around here. He had to exercise a little of that power yesterday. So shout out to him and the entire pit crew every time y'all do stuff like that. I appreciate y'all big time. Shout out to Chef Mike's Roundtable. Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you, my brother. And y'all, I appreciate y'all taking that little bit of stress off me, y'all. Y'all, that it helps to take that stress off a brother sometimes. So shout out to Chef Mike's Roundtable and the entire pit crew. Appreciate y'all big time. Shout out to Inspired True Broadcast. What's up, my brother? We got Superstar Jay Quick in the building. What's going on? Bruce Own Wayne is here as well. We got, hold on, y'all. Hold on. I done, boom. Let me get that. Okay, go good. Clear that up. Let me clear that up. Shout out to Afro Merchant is in the building. What's good, my brother? What's good? Glad to see you. We got Boot Camp in the house. Bucket is here. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you as well. Ron Coleman. Shout out to Ron Coleman. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Soul Provider Speaks is in the building as well, okay? Soul Provider Speaks is here as well. Y'all, let's get into this, and I do want to appreciate y'all. I know I'm coming in just slightly behind, and y'all jumping in already, so it's great to see y'all. Had a long night last night, y'all. That's all I can tell you. Had a long night last night, okay? A little longer than I was prepared for. I'll say that. A little longer than I was prepared for. Shout out to Hero for Hire. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. And shout out to Southpaw. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Southpaw. Good to have you. And C. Moses, okay? Shout out to C. Moses in the building as well, y'all. Now, I'm going to talk about black men must be perfect, okay? Now, I'm going to talk about this because this is something that we put on black men, okay? Now, shout out to all my people listening around the world, because they may be dealing with a very similar situations in some countries. But over here in America, y'all, there's always this thing going on about how black men must be perfect. It comes from the entire society as a whole. I can't say every single person, but the society as a whole. In America, we get this concept that black men got to be perfect. Okay? You know, people will argue stuff that we believe is going to make a huge difference. Okay? I'm not going to say stuff can't make a slight difference here and there. But there are arguments being made, and you can see that, well, if you look at it, you can see people want black men to be perfect. It's a requirement that's on us that ain't on anybody else. Okay? As a black man, to be in American society and be considered okay, you know, you got to be tall. Let's just keep it real, y'all. You got to be tall. If you're not tall, it's a problem. Okay? Think about that, y'all. If you're not tall as a black man, it's a problem. A lot of people gonna have a problem with you because you're not tall. Okay? Now, you could be close to tall, not good enough, because it ain't tall. All right? And then, even when you're tall, because you black, it ain't tall. You know? And that's just where it goes. All right? Now, from a financial perspective, you got to be rich. You know? Because if you got regular money, you don't count. This is a real world perspective of how a lot of people try to box black men in. If you ain't rich, you don't count. Okay? And guess what happens when you're rich? You're not rich enough. Don't make no difference how much money you get. Okay? You can be worth a cool $1 million. That ain't good enough because you a nigga. And you may say, well, what if I'm worth 10 million? Yeah, well, you still a nigga, so what that mean? Okay, what that mean? And it comes from men and women, y'all. This is something that is pushed in this entire society. Okay? Shout out to Compassionate Cat. He say, don't forget swag, Raj. Hey, you can have all the swagger you want. Does it make an actual difference when people still consider you a nigga? Okay? You can have all the swag you want. Okay? You can be done put out a hit music album. You got a dance that go with it. You know, people looking at you as the next one up. You know, you could be doing all the right things. You got plenty of swag. But you're still a nigga at the end of the day. So what difference does that make? You know, and I'm just saying, y'all, there's an amazing thing that goes on in the minds of people when you look at how they operate with black men from an American context. I'm not saying it ain't happening in other places. But with us, people ask you to be this, that, and that. Yet it ain't never enough no matter what it is. Okay? You can't just be a black father in America. Now, that's not good enough. Now, we literally got the best fathers America has to offer. And what is the main thing people use to attack black men? You niggas don't want to be daddies. You niggas ain't good fathers. You niggas abandon your kids. They just literally make up stuff. Because being the best fathers in the country ain't good enough for America. Ain't that about nothing? Being the best fathers in the country ain't good enough. If I'm already in the top spot, what you want me to do? Okay? I'm already in the top spot. What do you want me to do? Okay? Now there's certain things we supposed to be able to realize. If we the top fathers, why are we the top fathers? Because we literally the best men the country has to offer. Literally the best men the country has to offer. But that ain't good enough. Think about it, y'all. That ain't good enough. It don't get us to the quote-unquote promised land. Now, when you already at the top, where am I supposed to go? Okay? Where am I supposed to go if I'm already at the top? Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all heard that saying about, if you at the bottom, there's nowhere to go but up, which is something black men should really accept and understand. If anybody really perceives you at the bottom, well, there's nowhere to go but up. But what about when you're already at the top? When I'm at the top, why ain't that good enough? Okay. Now, again, y'all, this comes from men and women. Now, we were having a conversation and something was said, and they brought up Sharon Moore. I'm not quite sure exactly how to pronounce his name. No disrespect to him. That was that head coach of, well, he's now the former head coach of Michigan. Okay, former head coach of Michigan. Now, we did cover the fact that he definitely made his own fumble because he was messing with some woman that was attached to his job, and he done lost that head coaching position. Is he still a man? Is he still the same guy today that he was yesterday? Because there's a lot of people who look at that and say, well, and let's keep it real. A lot of guys clown him because he lost that job, especially because a woman was involved. And a lot of guys really clowned him because it was a white woman involved. Because he's a nigga, therefore a nigga should never be good enough to date a white woman. And that's something that we see that comes out. See, you when you pay attention to something, you can see how things come out that's in people's hearts because they show different ways to express it. And I'm definitely saying, because when I didn't listen to other people's content on it before I do my own content on the subject, but a lot of times I'll just go around and look at titles. I look at what people have on their thumbnails and things like that. A lot of people was going in on that dude for dealing with a white woman. And I don't even think they had looked up the fact to see that his wife was white. It was just, oh, he got some outside woman, she white. That's what he get for messing with a white woman. Wow. I don't see that ever said about any other group of men. I mean, they ain't gonna say it about white men, but white men, you can't really trip about them messing with white women. And I do get that. But I don't see Indian men, getting attacked because they mess with some white women. I ain't never seen that. I ain't never seen a Mexican guy, get slandered because he was with a white woman. I just ain't never seen it. Okay. I ain't never seen a Puerto Rican even be bothered because he was with some white woman. Okay. I've never seen any man other than black men have anything negative said about them because they was with some white woman. Okay. I just don't see it. Now, I ain't gonna say you can't find it nowhere, because when you talk about so many people, you can always find anything. Because just the way I throw in people's faces, yeah, if you give me enough time, I can find you a man with no legs. Now, I know, when you think about men, you're not gonna think about a guy with no legs first. But I can find you a guy with no legs. So for all the people who want to bring up the exception to the rule, yeah, I can find you a man with no legs too. Yeah, just give me some time. I can make it happen. Why do black men have to be perfect amongst black men, amongst black women, or in this American society? Why we got to be perfect and ain't nobody else got to be perfect? Now, if I had a little more time, I probably would have set some more up, but I'm going to say shout out to Passport OG. Okay, shout out to Passport OG. I was watching one of Passport OG's videos last night. I don't know if it was a new release that he just put out or something that's been out a while. Nah, matter of fact, it's got to be new, because it covered something with Chili from TLC. Yeah, TLC. And she is now dating, I believe it's Matthew Lawrence. Matthew Lawrence. Y'all know there's some white men, the Lawrence brothers, Joey, Matthew, and something. They famous now. Don't get it wrong. They famous guys. I'm not the names ain't coming to me like that, but they are some famous guys. They've been famous since they was like kids. So I know at least one of them been famous since they was kids. Okay, so no disrespect to them. No disrespect to them. Okay. But while he was covering that, he put out a little bit of information. You know, Chili is now with this white guy, you know, one of the Lawrence brothers. I believe it's Matthew Lawrence. Okay. Shout out to South Paul. Yeah, Joey, Matthew, and Andrew. And I'm not saying this disrespectfully, because I remember watching them I was watching at least one of them on some TV show when I was growing up. I remember at least one of them. Matter of fact, two of them. I think it was two of them I watched growing up on TV shows. Okay. So she with one of the Lawrence brothers. Okay. And I mean, no disrespect to him, but you know, he happened to cover it, and he mentioned that, you know, he was in a relationship with a woman, you know, and then I seen the pictures like, oh, he was with a black woman, huh? Married to a black woman. Now it could have been like a mixed person, or whatever, but you know, y'all know how America is. If you black, you're black. It just is what it is. So he was married to this black woman, but he wasn't earning what the black woman was earning. And they eventually got divorced, and you know, it's considered a bad thing, you know. What's considered bad was that she was out earning him, and she just didn't like the feeling of being with a guy who was earning less than she was, and she had to be the breadwinner, whatever the case is. That's what the video displayed. Now, I ain't gonna argue with the video displayed, because I'm sure he does take his time and energy the way he puts those videos together. Okay, cool. So somehow it became an issue. Okay, somehow it became an issue that you know, he wasn't making the same money his woman was making. So now he's dating Chili. I'm sure most of y'all know Chili is a black woman, right? Now, he said Chili was like 9 years older than the Lawrence guy is. Okay, I'm pretty sure it was Matthew Lawrence. I don't remember. 9 years older. Okay, and he reported that he only made $13,000 last year. 13,000. These rich.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Robert.
Yeah, y'all. It shocked me. It shocked me, and I'm gonna tell y'all the straight up truth. When I heard this, okay, I heard this right. I'm driving down the street as I'm listening to this man video, right? I heard the 13,000, right? I literally in my own mind, I said 13,000. Wow. I said, how long ago has it been since I only made 13,000? Okay. Now I'm not gonna laugh at the man because he only making 13,000. Okay. I'm not gonna laugh at him because he only makes 13,000. I mean, it is what it is. People go through tough times here and there. I understand he's in the world of entertainment, and you know, their lives can be up or they can be down sometime. But I mean, 13,000? 13,000? 13,000? You mean to tell me? You mean to tell me? As a black man, I got to be rich so I can get with Chili? Because I done seen Chili on clips and whatnot. I done seen Chili talking about how she don't want no broke guy. I mean, she was in that famous song, No Scrubs. I mean, No Scrubs just took over when it came out. And I'm not going to even say I didn't even like the song. As a song, it sounds like a very good song. I mean, but it definitely had its cultural impact. No Scrubs? She dating a guy younger than her? He only made 13,000. You mean to tell me I could afford Chili? That's what I could. I had no clue that I could afford Chili. But let's keep it real. I can't afford chili because I'm a nigga. Let's be very real about that, y'all. Let's be very real about that. I can honestly joke and play thinking I could afford chili. Heck, shit, her man only make 13,000. You know, I think about last year and I got to ask myself, how many times did I make 13,000? You know, and I'm not saying this to brag or anything like that. I'm just putting it out there because it's a real thing. When you think about what you did last year, y'all, how many times did you make 13,000 is the question you got to ask yourself if 13,000 come up. So you could say in your heart you could afford chili, but now you can't afford chili if you a nigga. It just is what it is. Now I gotta be perfect, but if I'm white, I could just have 13 grand for the whole year. You know, I think back on my history, y'all. I'm thinking, man, the last time I probably only made 13,000, and I ain't gonna say 100% for sure. I think that might have been the year I was in a coma. Y'all, I told y'all I was in a coma before. That might have been the year I was in a coma, man. That might have been that year that I made 13K or less. I mean, it could have been that, or maybe it's the next year, because you know I had a rough couple years where I ain't make no real money. You know what I'm saying? But it was like back then. You know, now I ain't gonna laugh at that man for only making 13,000, but it is what it is. Shout out to Compassion and Callous. He says this nigga Matthew is living below the poverty line. LMAO. I mean, I don't know what to tell you because he white, y'all. I don't know what to tell you because he white. Okay, so he good. You know, as I was listening to the story, and shout out to Passport OG. You know, I wish I would have had more time and I would have put the link in the description with this. I would have, you know what? I'll say this after the show. I'll put the link in the description, y'all, so y'all can see how Passport OG covered it, okay? Because I can't do that. I can do it after the show, okay? So shout out to Passport OG. You know, you do good. Matter of fact, I ain't got to do that. My main man, Compassion Kasdan, did. He doing the do already, y'all. Yeah, just take a slight and shout out to Compassion and Callous, y'all. I mean, y'all, I'm giving this man real props, y'all, because I'm a little late getting started today. I wasn't ready to go. I ain't even contacted this man. He just so on the ball and just making stuff happen. Man, salute to you, brother, big time. You know, you make it look good even when it ain't supposed to look good. So I appreciate you, brother. That's real dedication right there, y'all. That's real dedication. So y'all, just take a quick listen of what's going on right here. Now, and you remember that you a black man. You remember, even if it wasn't you personally, most of us think Chili is a very attractive woman, and a lot of brothers would have dated Chili if they had a chance. You remember that. You may say, well, maybe not me personally, but it ain't just about you. It's about us as a group, y'all. We like Chili, quote unquote, per se. A lot of guys would have been into Chili. A lot of guys would have took Chili on if they had a chance. So let's hear what's going on with Chili at this stage of their life. Go ahead and let that beautiful bean footage roll.
Like me were pleasantly surprised when you two started dating. You know, and and like I love looking at y'all, following y'all. And for me, it's like your total relationship goals. So do you get that a lot from fans?
Yeah, we do hear that a lot.
Yeah.
The whole goals thing.
And I know Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, they said Travis Kelce was on a podcast, and he said that they have never had a fight. He and Taylor.
Yeah.
And I remember you told People Magazine, Chili, that you said the same thing. So Matthew, I got to know, is the no fight streak still going on? Like y'all never?
Yeah.
It is.
We don't fight.
No, we don't
That's
fight.
nice.
We have disagreements.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can disagree on things, but we don't know. It's like I could never even imagine kind of raising my voice either, which is weird. I mean, I've been in relationships where you do, and you go back. I could never do that. There's too much respect.
Pause for me right there. Pause for me right there.
I ain't want to gossip, so if anyone asks you.
Now, y'all remember the people who've been around a while, because I know I done lost some time. Y'all remember what I told y'all? I ain't never seen a black woman in a relationship with a white man and she ever really challenged that white man or fought with that white man anything like that. I told y'all that. Now here goes Sherry Shepherd asking him about fighting. They can't come up with no fight. He white and ain't no fights now.
A new state-of-the-art avatar.
Okay? I'm just saying. He white, all of a sudden, no fights. Now, ain't that about something? Ain't that about something? Now, shout out to Compare. Obviously, he's moving us up toward the main thing that I said something about. Okay? But, you know, I tried to see a black woman fight a white man once. Ran down some stairs. As I said on that show, I scurried down the escalator to see it go down. It didn't go down then either. But now keep in mind, even though they celebrities, they're still random people at the end of the day. No fight when he white. Maybe that's what it is, y'all. No fighting when he white. The black women got a no fight white clause. You got the no fight white clause, okay? But go ahead and let a little more of that footage roll, my brother.
Yeah,
musical
for your musical, the TLC musical, Washington D.C.
Yeah.
Might we maybe Broadway
Yes.
in the future?
Yes, that's the goal.
All right,
That's the goal.
because that would sell out. That would sell out if that was on Broadway. The TLC
From your
story.
lips to God's ears.
Yes, we got it, girl.
Looking at the comments underneath the video, they're exactly what you would expect. They're a really sweet couple. They look so comfortable together. Those Lawrence brothers, they're so attractive. I love these two together. But there's one comment that's conspicuously missing from many of the reactions.
I don't know if you like me unless you give me some money.
It took a little while before I found the comment that I was looking for. Dang, she asked him nothing and Chili talked the whole time. But many of the young ladies in the comment section, as we all know, when a lady likes you, she's going to find reasons to excuse your behavior or explain it away as something positive. They were saying this is a positive display of masculinity, that he is not afraid to let her bask in her light as he is taking the background and be supportive of her success, if you will. But what's notably absent in this conversation of a 54-year-old woman who's doing a musical and hopefully getting ready to do a stint on Broadway so she can make more money is that there are no questions at all for him for what he's doing in his career. And so if that indeed is the case, then apparently his career is not very important to Chili. Now, is it? All of that said, watch his body language as he sits and listens to the conversation for what Chili is about to do when there are no questions in a 10-minute interview for him.
The TLC musical, Crazy, Sexy, Cool, it opens at the Arena Theater in Washington, D.C. this summer. Run to see it. And Second Chance Love premieres on Hallmark Plus on January 1st. Next up, Karamo is here. Matthew Lawrence, Chili.
Now, I'm not Magnum PI. Isn't it funny that we were calling another grown man Magnum, by the way, in the 80s? Isn't that crazy? But anyways, I'm not a private investigator. But if I put two and two together, we have two different women, and I don't know what kind of money he makes. I can't speak on that. But I can say that there are two different women that are very comfortable with him not having any significant career achievements in the last, 5-10 years. And then all of a sudden he wants to have a child with Chili. What could possibly be the reason for that?
Speaking of money, we're looking at a situation right now where with Cardi B, she's trying to get divorced from Offset and he's demanding alimony.
He's wild as hell. Alimony?
Alimony.
He crazy. I ain't know he want alimony?
He wants alimony.
That's insane.
Do you think it's unfair for him to be demanding alimony when she's a higher earner than him?
It's unfair, yeah, because what is she paying alimony for?
This interview is actually emblematic of how the standards for women have essentially been removed, but for men, they remain the same. She does spicy content, I'll say that, and she's probably very well off doing it. And if she had done this, say, 60, 70 years ago, she probably couldn't show her face in public without being shamed. But in a society now that almost celebrates this, she's still looking at men and saying, yeah, but why aren't you protecting and providing? Shouldn't you go away from the divorce still paying her even though she makes more money than you? That's how deeply it is ingrained in the system. And she's not considering the fact that someone like Matthew Lawrence is going into the marriage thinking, hey, listen, if I get a child and she blows up on Broadway, guess what that means for me? I mean, that's kind of sort of has been the game for a while now, right? Listen to her response and how deeply ingrained it is that men are never supposed to walk away with anything.
Should a man, after you split, should a man be looking to a woman to kind of furnish his lifestyle?
Do some female stuff like we be doing, like, he gonna pay me. I need child support. That's exactly how you sound right now. She gonna pay me.
I can end this by asking a very simple rhetorical question. Do you think that Matthew Lawrence would walk away from his marriage with Chili if she's blown up on Broadway and they have a child together and say that he doesn't want anything from her? I don't think so. And it all just proves that young women, especially modern women, are willing to pay for the guys they like. And that's why we are here now.
All right, now I want to say real quickly, y'all got to think about this, man. Chili, yeah. Chili. Chili had her own show, okay? And I heard that show was a debacle because, it was about something about what Chili want, and it turned out Chili didn't want nothing. You know what I'm saying? It was like nobody was good enough for Chili, okay? Now, did I watch the show? No, didn't watch the show. I just heard stuff about the show. But I remember hearing the issue with the show Chili had was nobody was good enough. Now, I don't know who was on the show. Maybe it was some white men on the show too. I don't know. Okay. I almost would have to hope some white men is on the show at this point. Because if she's now dating a Lawrence brother who only made $13,000 last year, and again, I'm not going to laugh at him because he ain't making no money. But I'm pretty sure every brother listening, any guy under the sound of my voice right now, you could just think about how many times you made $13,000 last year. Now, y'all know we not good enough because we basically scrubs. Shout out to TLC. We ain't good enough because we scrubs. But see, when it's white, it's totally different, y'all. Now, I done told y'all black women ain't got no standards. I done told y'all that because the standard is something you uphold all the time. Okay? Black women ain't got no standards. I guess even when they rich, even when they famous, the standard still ain't there. We out here, we scrubbing. You done made $13,000. You sitting there like, man, you a scrub. I got to do it. I got to do it hard. I got to do it more. You done made $26,000. You sitting there like, man, I wish I could have a woman like Chili, but I don't make enough. I wish I could have a woman like Chili, but I don't make enough. You sitting there making $39,000 a year. Man, if I had a woman as beautiful as Chili, everything would be all right. Okay. Now it don't even take no genes to figure out I'm just going up by 13,000. Okay. So if you make 39,000, you did it 3 times, but that wasn't good enough for Chili. Now, why is there a viewpoint that black men got to be perfect? Okay. Now, shout out to Sharon Moore, who lost the job at Michigan. Now, my thing is, people lose jobs for a lot of things that we call crazy. But why was so many people ready to get at him because he quote unquote lost it and that white girl was involved? It's kind of crazy at the end of the day. But let me hold fast, y'all. I got my first guest coming up, so let me hold fast right now. Let's see where he gonna get with this. So shout out to Kiss My Feet, Yitch. Kiss My Feet, Yitch. You got the flow, my brother. You got the flow.
Happy Friday, Roger.
Happy Friday, brother. Yeah, I hear you fine.
Well, you know what it is. His pale skin covers for multiple imperfections and sins. When it's you, Negro, y'all gotta be perfect. Y'all gotta have a member that stretches below your knees. Y'all gotta make 8 figures. Y'all gotta be super tall, not just tall, not just 6'1", 6'2". Nah, you gotta be 6'8", 7'2". That's what is required of you. When it's you, you gotta have a 12-car garage. You gotta have the nicest car possible. But when it's the white man, you can't be just a dusty. You know what I mean? You can't make zero money. In fact, she'll support you. I heard many cases of these women taking care of white men who don't even have a job altogether. White men have zero job, zero income. These bad wrenches are taking care of them and their children sometimes. But when it comes to you, Negro, all you can get is a fat, nasty looking baby mama of 4 by 6 with a baby daddy. That's if you're lucky. That's what you're gonna get. Because you forgot one thing. It don't matter how much money you got, you're still just a nigga.
All right. Now, this is the thing, y'all. Black men, we deal with a unique situation. Us in America, you have a whole country that systematically puts out certain messages. Okay, and these messages are simply not for our favor. It just is what it is. They're not for our favor. Now, if we take a look, even this background picture, y'all. Okay, just take a look at this background picture because this is some things that Compassion has, put together for me, and I appreciate it. It's a little bit about how people see black men or how we're supposed to be seen. Okay, now he mentioned the Infinity Gauntlet. What was that? Yeah, that was yesterday. Yeah, that was yesterday's show. All right, you have the Player Stone. You got to be as smooth as a cucumber. You got to be as smooth as ice as a black man. You got to be able to be a player out here, man. If you ain't got it, if you ain't got no game, man, you ain't nothing. You got to be able to do all these things now, y'all. You got to keep this in mind. It ain't one or two of these things. It ain't one stone that'll give you all these great abilities. You got to have all these jokers just to even be a decent brother and consider, to be considered decent. You got to have all these at the end of the day. So not only do you have to have the ability to be a player, you got to be a John Henry. If you are not willing to work 29 hours a day, you're a failure. You got to be able to work 29 hours a day. Now, I understand it's only 24 in a day. I get that. But you got to figure it out, man. You got to get 29 of them in there. Okay? And you better make time for her. Okay? Why you work 24 hours in a day, you still better make time for her. And ain't no excuse. It just ain't no excuse. And not only do you got to work hard enough so you can have your credit right, you got to have street credit on top of it. Okay? You got to have street credit on top of it. Okay? And not only do you got to be a man that's feared in the streets, you got to have swag. When you go out and about, other women got to know you, want you, or not know you and still want you. They got to look at you and see everything they need to see in any man. And you got to give it without saying a word to them. Okay? If they just happen to walk past you, they got to be blown away by your swag. And you got to have big bread. Okay? I know people talk about that 6 figures, but no, at least 300,000. At least 300,000. And guess what? You should be able to make 300,000 a year because you're supposed to be working at least 29 hours a day. Yeah, now don't worry about the weekends. I know that somebody out there thinking, what about the weekends? No. You got to work 29 hours a day, okay? Including weekends. All right? So don't be sitting there like trying to figure out, well, if I gotta work 29 hours a day and if it's 7 days in a week and I can make up something on the week. No, you can't. No, you can't. It's 29 hours a day on the weekend too, and you still better make time for her. Real talk. Okay. You better make time for her. All right. And not only do you need to make time for her, you need to make time for her in a way that you can do things for her that's going to impress her friends. Okay. And you have to be a matriarchal assistant Negro. So you got to help push the agenda forward yourself for women to take over. You got to do all these things. It's that simple at the end of the day. Now, you might say that's a whole lot for any man to do. It ain't for any man. It's for you. You the nigga. Okay? If you Matthew Lawrence, you can make 13,000 and you fine. You ain't got to worry about that. No, this for you because you a nigga. And that's what you got to understand. And you know what? Not only should you understand this, you should accept this. You should praise this. You should appreciate Black women for moving about the world with these ideas in their head. Okay? You should be happy that they would even think about accepting your perfection. You should be happy they would think about accepting your perfection. Okay? It's that simple at the end of the day. So don't be looking at what the other guy ain't got to do. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't look at what the other guy ain't got to do. You focus on what you got to do. And that's where you'll get ahead, okay? But let me go down again because I'll let you go ahead then. Then I got another guest that came up, so I'll give it to him. But go ahead, I ain't gonna cut you off. Go ahead. What you about to say?
And also with your 18-inch member, you gotta be able to make her bust all kind of nuts. Don't forget that part.
Well, I mean, let's keep it real. If she don't come at least 7 times in every session, you ain't did your job. You know?
You're not a real man. A real man would.
Yeah. If she ain't came 7 times, and don't get it twisted. 7 times, that's light work. That's light work. You ain't really did nothing. That's just light work. Don't you ever think that she gave you a ooh and ah 6 times that you did something. Okay? Because you ain't even hit 7, number one. And when you hit 7, don't really think you did something because that's just light work. But let me turn it over to my second guest for the day. The Great Black Reset is in the building. You got the mic, my brother. Go right ahead.
What's happening, fellas? I'm far away from Alabama, so y'all should be able to hear me today. One, I want to say shout out to Compassionate coming through in the clutch today. Man, that man look like, man, coming through in the clutch, bro. I want to let you know I appreciate you, and I dedicate this day to you, brother, because without you, this would be a raggedy show today. Raggedy. Two, for those of you who know, we have Bible study. We didn't have Bible study last night. We had a revival last night, and boy, let me tell you, I wish you were there, and I wish I could tell you about it. Well, Roger, that was a marathon last night. I enjoyed every moment of it.
Man, last night was awesome, bro. Since you didn't say something, last night was awesome. Awesome. Man, I wish y'all could have heard that. Woo!
Emperor stole my thunder. I sure was gonna miss you, boy. You gotta crack him down in the bed. Well, if you ain't doing that, then they gonna talk you out your 3 ways to Sunday, and you got to come home and cook and clean after you get done doing your 29 hours. You got to do that too, brother, cause they ain't for that no more. That's slave work, and nigga, you the slave. You the slave. You got to fix the car. You got to clean the gutters. If y'all ain't got no gutters, you gonna put some gutters up there and clean them. Bro, we have the impossible task of being Superman, the Lord Almighty Himself, Batman, and every other man out there, brother. We Aquaman, bro. You got to be able to do it all as a black man. But Chad, 13,000. Man, I didn't know I could take chili to chili. I didn't know that. I did not know that. I could. I'm trying to save my money up to taking a roof, Chris, and all I had to do was take chilies to chili. My mind is blown, bro. Oh man, that's how they do us, man. That's how they do it, man. Man, they taking care of these fellas, man. These fellas ain't got to work. They running their credit up. Them boys down in the basement playing video games. They come down there and scrub their feet and everything. This is insanity, bro. But I'm gonna land right there. I can go on and on.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I'm gonna say shout out to Passport OG, man. I'm still gonna link his video after this, just so if y'all want to watch the whole video, because it's just a piece of good work. I ain't gonna lie, it's just a piece of good work. So shout out to Passport OG for that, and shout out to my main man Elder Blood. He says, Roger, you are elaborating exactly why God made such stringent and explicit Torah laws in regards to how black men are to manage or cohabitate with black women. All right. Now, I try to keep it real, Elk Blood, as you know. I try to keep it real, and sometimes I touch on stuff without even trying to touch on it. Because I ain't gonna even say I was even thinking about it in those terms, but yeah, those terms do fit. And shout out to the Great Black Reset, who just made me realize that I could have took chili to chili. You know what I'm saying? That, you know what? And I'm gonna say I would 100% agree with you on that. But then I remember I'm a nigga, so I can't take it to Chili's. Now I can get a random white guy who work in McDonald's. He can take her to Chili's and it's fine. Okay, he could take her to Chili's, but I can't take her to Chili's. You know what? Maybe I should be upset. I'm just saying, if they say men get upset about stuff, now I don't believe them, but I guess maybe I should be upset about that. Do y'all understand? If you make $52,000 a year, you did what Jory Lawrence did. Well, no, was it Jory? Or was it Matthew? It was Matthew. Okay, you did what Matthew did. Well, Matthew did it once, right? But you did it 4 times. If you had 52, okay, don't you dare make 65. And if my memory's correct, just offhand, that's already above the national average. You 5 times what Chili required. You 5 times. So now Chili, I forget, she's about 52-ish, 54-ish or something, they said. She gonna have a baby with the plan is having a baby with the guy. Now I get it for Chili. Chili gonna have a white baby. If she can get this baby out of Matthew, she can have a white baby. So I understand that's extremely important to to a black woman. If she can get that white baby up out of. Okay. All I can say is good luck. It is what it is. I'm not involved. But if I gave her everything, everything I got is not gonna match up to that 13,000 that Matthew can give.
But Roger, you forgot one thing. You don't own the bus company.
What? you know, when you white, you can ride the bus. Cause I mean, I'm not gonna take shots at Matthew for real. You know what I'm saying? Cause you know, I'm cool with the Lawrence brothers or whatever. I done watched them. I done watched them on TV and whatnot. So I ain't got no hatred for them. But if you only get 13,000 a year, I mean, how much driving you gonna do? Y'all seen them gas? Y'all seen them gas prices, right? How much driving can you do?
I refuse to lose, so from this moment forward, I identify as a white man. That's what I'm gonna do.
Real talk. And and guys, I do want y'all to get this is not just something that's happening with black women and as they put stuff on black men. It happened amongst us as men too. And this is something a lot of black men, we got to really start thinking about this and get comfortable with this idea so we can fight against this idea. If you were born and raised in this country and you went to public school, you've been trained to be a white supremacist. It's that simple at the end of the day. Ain't none of us get past all of it. We've been trained to be a white supremacist. It is in our public education. It is on television shows. It is in movies. It is in books. It's on the news. You know, it's in documentaries. You're going to be trained to be a white supremacist. Now, if you are 18 and over, it is your responsibility to get past the training. It's that simple at the end of the day. I'm not making an excuse for anybody. If you're 18, it doesn't make a difference what your background is. You're supposed to be able to get past this stuff. But we do hold black men to a level that we don't hold white men to because, and I'm using that Sharon Moore, and my apologies if I'm not saying his name correct because I really don't know actually how to pronounce his name. Even with him losing that job at Michigan, he ain't doing anything that you ain't heard about a bunch of white men and did plenty of times. But a lot of folks, we went in on him in a way that we don't do to no other man. It's that simple at the end of the day. Nobody gets hit with the, oh, but look what you did, the way black men get hit with it. When white men do it, we don't really say nothing. And I'm saying this because we don't care. Okay? We just don't care. And I'm saying it as a person who does, you know, I'm a content creator and I focus on black people in general. You know what I'm saying? This is a very black-centric show over here. And even though that type of stuff really wouldn't even hit me per se, is like what white men are doing all the time because I don't actually care like that. But I do understand this sentiment of we as black people, we don't even want to say nothing when it's them, but we'll rag down on somebody when it's us. Now, my thing is, if they ain't got to be perfect, why I got to be perfect? I ain't rocking with that. But let me get a flow to I got two more guests up here. I got Tunnel Runner and we got Compassion in the house. So Tunnel Runner, let's get you in first, and then we're gonna come to my man, Compassion, who been doing a fantastic job. And I gotta salute you again, my brother. You making me look real good today, and I appreciate it. Shout out to Tunnel Runner. Go ahead, my brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, they came out with a song called Scrubs.
Scrubs.
And if I'm only making $13,000 a year, the only way I'll be able to holler at her for a good-looking car if I wasn't my best friend's ride. There's no other way I can do it. If I only make it, I can't afford no nice ride. I'm going to have to be in my friend's ride to holler at her. So I don't know. She done went back around the circle. But like you said, if you got the complexion that they like, I guess they let a lot of things go because she said she didn't want no scrubs, but just from that song, sounds like she might have something similar to what she was looking to get away from. Just on money alone.
I see what you did right there, my brother. I see what you did. Compassionate and callous, you have the flow, my brother.
Yeah,
or should I? No. Minister of counter propaganda. You have the flow. Go ahead, my brother.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that proper title. Great show. You said something about you was going down the road that I think we could focus on. Of if you, as a black man, if you were from America and went through public school, you was trained to be a white supremacist. You say that all the time. I think like this graphic in the background displays, I think what that actually means is as a black man, you've been taught to evaluate black men, other black men, and you even yourself by the standards in the background on this gauntlet. And that's what I think we got to grapple with and accept. And then we have the ability to change it, because I think all of us, to your point, I think what it means to be a black male white supremacist by indoctrination, by default, basically, it means to evaluate yourself by these standards and evaluate other black men. Because like you said, the coach in Michigan, essentially we all evaluated him to not have his player stone. A true player would have been able to manage that situation and not get caught. He got the 300K stone. He got the money. He John Henry'd his way up to the top. He ain't got no niggas he gotta say help them do it. He did it all alone. That's an old adage we love to stand on. We don't need no nigga. We don't need no help. And so I think we got to unpack that before we can even start to judge how other people judge us, how we judging ourselves. And I land right there.
Hold on. I need to minister to the minister here real quick. I agree with your point. I think we using the wrong example. Sharon, we raked him over the coals because he just got his nigga car, his first nigga car. He thought he was one of them. That's why we raking him over the coals.
You're right.
It ain't the standard, bro. He far exceeds the standard to be any woman's wife, much less a black woman. Any woman's wife. He's done his due diligence. He's done what he's supposed to do as a man. He forgot he's a nigga. That's why we running that nigga over the coals.
Well, I'm gonna say, shout out to our panel. I think we kind of did that, but as I said before, when I went and seen all this stuff, the people who was covering him, they was taking a lot of shots at this dude, and a lot of them shots was taken because he messed up with a white woman. That's what it was. He messed up, but it was with a white woman. So I don't think the vast majority of people looked at that in any kind of correct way whatsoever. And I'm just keeping it real. Because I seen a lot of what people was had in their thumbnails and the titles of their shows. They was getting that dude because it's a white woman that he got caught up with.
I'd argue to black men and to black America, the problem with his case was dealing with a white woman at all. And I would say how that applies to the stone. Not being a player in black America and to black men is not dealing with white women at all, or dealing with them in such a way that makes you impenetrable to anything they'll do.
No, I'm gonna say at all. Because black women don't want us messing with white women.
Yeah.
Right.
It just is what it is. And go ahead.
We get that pressure from the gynocracy, and truth teller, don't come up here and run me over the coals because I said gynocracy. I know it's coming. But yeah, we get that from the quote unquote gynocracy a lot. Like and getting back to what we're talking about here today, talking about how much money we got to make, what kind of car we got to drive, all these things that we're supposed to exude in order to attract women. All of that comes from the women themselves. They're setting the standards, and we're choosing to follow the standard they're set instead of saying, wait a minute, I'm the one that's giving up everything I got for you. You need to meet my standards.
Amen. But,
hey, Roger.
Go ahead, I gotta get True Telling after you. I was about to bring him in, but go ahead.
Okay, but I'm gonna say there are guys who have the all 5 stones. They have the affinity, and they still don't get respect. So unless you that right color, you just don't get it. You can have all 5 stones, and I done seen it. I done found guys for women that say everything they say they want, and if he don't be humble himself to them, they don't want it. They want him to be somewhat broken before they can act like they want to be worshipped. They don't want to. They don't want to do.
Yeah, you gotta learn. You gotta learn how to ice skate on sand.
Yeah. They want the impossible. Or you can make them if you can make them a white woman, a rich white woman, that would be the greatest thing you could do for them.
See, now you started hit the nail on the head. you a black man, so you ain't hit the nail on the head. You just starting to. But let's give up the truth teller and let truth teller get in here. Go ahead, truth teller.
Good morning, y'all. Well, first I want to ask who's playing the Damon Dash confused face clip when Roger was saying she 52 and she want to try to have a baby. That was you. You need to get many props for your skill, player, because I realized I was making the same face when he said it. So I don't know how you read everybody's mind, but
yeah, 54-year-old woman talking about she have great.
You have talent, sir. You read the room. Honestly, so I do want to ask: does anybody remember why Chili broke up with Usher?
No.
Oh, because he cheated. That's what the story was, right?
Oh. Whoa, wait, Roger. Wait. What's your definition of cheating?
That nigga, I believe that nigga got a phone call from a woman or some jazz.
Actually, they were on a break suggested by Chili, and he got something from some other chick, and the chick got pregnant.
Did Usher have a baby?
My confessions.
My confessions. There you go.
My confessions. That's right.
Yeah. Did that confession include a baby?
It did. The girl got pregnant.
Okay.
Hey, Roger, somebody got music playing in the background.
I was just muting everybody trying to figure out who that was. I guess that was Truth Teller. Yeah. We don't want to highlight that though. Because I don't think that was good enough for the system to catch it. So we should be all right. But if the system catches
it was far away.
That's gonna be a problem. Yeah, that's gonna be a problem.
I was walking around certain people's rooms, but technically he didn't cheat on anybody, right? Because she made a dumb suggestion with a man that she was with, which I don't know why women think this is a good idea, but we should take a break. Why, if we're together? We need a break. Right. Okay, I'll take a break. He took a break, and then after they came back from the break, she's mad that he actually took a break. If she would have been on her game, he wouldn't have been able to do that because he wouldn't be on a break.
Wait a minute. Just to make sure I'm clear in my understanding. It was they took a break and then Usher messed with somebody else, and she mad that he messed with somebody else because she said they should take a break.
Yeah, she made the suggestion. Yeah.
That's telling the nigga to go have some. That's what that is.
That's what it is. So you fast forward 30-something years, and she's now 50-something trying to have a baby. Me personally, I think Chili is a lesbian, and her problem is she doesn't actually like women. So therefore, she's stuck in a place where she don't have no choice but get a bottom shelf Brad. Now Brad, right. So Brad, $13,000 a year. Brad is really the only option she got. So I don't think it's just she's just picking a white dude. There's no dude that's gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna have a black dude who's gonna mess with a 50-something-year-old Chili to actually be in a relationship. Ain't no black dude going. She's 50. What are we doing? So she had to get a bottom shelf Brad, and she couldn't get a median pay Brad. A median pay Brad is $52,000 a year. Yeah, he still got options at $52,000 a year. So median Brad ain't gonna mess with Chili like that. So I think she's just getting what she qualifies for. She's a lesbian who don't like women, and she can only get a white dude who is at the bottom of his group. Ta-da!
Now I gotta say real quick too, because as I listen to Passport OG and y'all, I am gonna put the link in the description for after the show. They also reported in there that he had to do that thing that I said a lot of people got to do. I wouldn't have assumed he had to do it, but he got a divorce, and then he had to move back in with his mama.
Yeah, they say he currently living with his mom, or was.
Who the guy? The Chili's?
Yeah, Matthew Lawrence had to move back in with his mama. And that makes sense to me because I did see a video a little while ago, a few months back, where I'm scrolling past looking through stuff and I seen the video with Chili dancing with the Lawrence brothers. Now I know why she was dancing with the Lawrence brothers. They was at his mama house. That's what was going on. I didn't know it at the time. They're dating and they at his mama house dancing. So that's why the brothers was in the video. See, now it all makes sense, So you can live with your mama when you white, and it's fine.
See,
Don't you worry about that.
You Negroes are always misjudging my beautiful black sisters. He doesn't live with his mama. He's extremely family oriented.
Basically,
y'all just don't even know how to look at this.
He love his mama. Is that what we go with?
All right. Well, let me do this because I got two more guests, and I had one backstage. I don't even know how long you been backstage. And my apologies because I had you back there longer than necessary.
Man.
And we got no. I'm telling you, usually I see something real quick, and I somehow he got back there a little bit longer than I didn't know he was back there. So my apologies on that. But I'm also going to get a flow to Black Rule because he's the elder, and I'm going to get credit in right behind him. And my apologies, credit. I did not do that deliberately at all. But Black Rule, you have the flow, my brother.
Yeah, Roger, thanks for having me. I hope you and the gentlemen on the panel, folks in the public chat, are doing well. It's a very interesting thing that you present about Chile. I think Chile is doing several things there. You know, the Lawrence brothers were very popular for a certain generation of females. You know, they would be in the range of, maybe late 20s to early 40s or whatever. The three brothers, was it Joey, Matthew, I forget the youngest brother, very popular. I think to some degree, in addition to him being a white man, I think this is also a rather clever marketing thing that Chili is doing with Matthew. What was he? He was on that show, Boy Meets World. I believe he was on that show. Again, that the Topanga and the brother who's also his brother, the Savage guy. I forget, Fred Savage or whatever.
Ben Savage. Ben Savage.
Very popular and very popular amongst Black females of that particular cohort. So I think she's kind of, in addition to, again, his being white. I mean, I look at their body language. I don't get a lot of amorous energy between them, specifically coming from Chile. I mean, it's almost like she's kind of dragging that dude around. I mean, he seems very deferential to her. So I think that's an interesting kind of marketing PR thing that Chile is doing that. Now, of course, if she can get that white baby, I mean, you better believe it. All stops will be pulled for all methods of reproductive wizardry will be employed try to get that biracial baby. Because once then you got the baby, then now you're all over the mag. Well, I don't know what the magazines. I guess that's a different kind of thing now. I guess I'm showing my age, but you're definitely once she gets the pretty light skinned baby, then that's, I mean, that's what talking about Instagram and PR, social media material. So she'll be able to mine the heck out of that. So yeah, I think she's kind of using him not just for um, not just for the obvious sort of divestment sort of argument, although that's very entertaining, obviously, to a lot of young women of certain cohort and disposition. But I think she's also using him. I think she's actually kind of using him economically to a degree, or indirectly.
Yeah, I think black women. It's been proven that having a white man is a clout booster for a black woman. Like you see how Sherry Shepherd reacted to their relationship. She, we're gonna pack the house if you do a Broadway because we just love the idea of you with this white man. They just love the vicariously live. Yeah, I'm saying
Ooh wee, girl.
Yeah,
Let me get this out the way, y'all. And I gotta get two more guests in. I gotta get this out the way and get two more guests in because we got another guest in came up. So shout out to my main man. All my hoes demonetized. He coming at me, y'all. He said the Roger Report should be demonetized immediately after this stream. This has been a horrible show for a Friday. And fellas, PSA, don't give him ish. Man, bro, I thought we was cool. But I guess I'm coming at this the wrong way. I'm gonna try to improve, my brother. I'm gonna try to improve. And I ain't gonna start tomorrow. I'm gonna start today. Okay, so I'm gonna try to fix it up. But first thing I'm gonna do to try to fix it up a little bit, I'm gonna turn the floor over to we got congressional privilege to T'Challa. So T'Challa, you got the flow, my brother. You got the flow. And I'm gonna try to fix it up. I gotta I still gotta get credit in, and then I'm gonna try to fix myself up, y'all. I'm gonna give y'all a better Friday show. Because according to all my hoes demonetized, I ain't up to par right now. So let me get it together while these two brothers get their opening statements in. T'Challa, you got the flow, my brother. No,
Is that me
T'Challa.
breaking up or is that you?
Oh, no,
Okay,
we
is
hear
that
you.
me
I hear
breaking
you.
up or is that you?
It might have been
all
you
right.
breaking up, but I do hear you now.
Okay, all right. Okay, at any rate, just shout out to you, Roger, as the host, and all the gentlemen on the panel. You look you got almost a full house today. Yeah, so you guys have been talking about this topic as it relates to Matthew Lawrence, and basically the lower tier white man, linking up with what would be considered a higher level, black woman with celebrity and stuff like that. Just so you guys know, I mean, this is pretty common with when these types of relationships kind of happen. A white man who used to be on, now he's fallen off, and he's in his lesser, celebrity status, and the white women don't want him anymore. Then he transitions over to a black woman. It's basically just kind of look at the timeline and the basic process of how this is happening. And this is you can see this pretty common. You see it with Joni Taylor Smith. I mean, Joni Turner Smith. A few other black women. Even to some extent, Serena Williams. All of these, white men who basically could have got with a white woman earlier, or they didn't, or maybe they did, and then they got the divorce, and now they're shifting over to black women. So they pick up a whole new fan base, and and don't think that these white men don't know that. They do know that. So all of that being said, I do want to actually touch on this topic real quick. Is that you talk about how black men have to be perfect? So it's not just among the people in our own group. This is basically a universal thing. Because I noticed this, and you guys know that I talk to other people in these other live streams and stuff like that. And there's a higher standard of behavior for black men than there is not for everybody else. Black men are held to a much higher standard of requirements, behavior, achievements, and everything else that everybody else doesn't have to meet. And I noticed that, and I do this, and I bring that out when I'm talking to other people, especially non-black people, specifically white men. When I say, look, white men are responsible, or as a collective, for 50% of the crime. Actually, 51% of the crime. If you go to the data for 2020, white men as a collective, 51% of the crime. Meanwhile, the only focus is on black men as the 6 or 7% of the population and 50% of a certain type of crime. All of that being said, I always kind of call people out and check them on that and make sure that don't be over here focusing so much on black men and what it is we're doing, You yourself have your own issues and problems you need to work out. You got criminality, degeneracy, and all of those racial groups, because I can point to it, and I make sure you guys know about it. And I'm not saying that you can't criticize or critique what black men are doing, but if you're going to do that, you better consider history, context, and then on top of that, with everything that's been done to actually sabotage and undermine black men, and then on top of that, make sure that you got a clean slate over there before you come over here looking at us. So I got a little bit more to say, but I'll go ahead and land right there.
All right, now let me do this real quick. Shout out to my main man. All my hoes demonetized. See, y'all look, y'all, he looking out. He sent me another $2 for the improvement fund. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. At least he giving me a chance, y'all. He giving me a chance. And I guess he's trying to show I don't have to be perfect, y'all. And I appreciate that sentiment, real talk. Now, I'm also saying shout out to my main man, the Great Black Reset, who dropped $20 on the Cash App. He said, excellent show and awesome marathon Bible study. Appreciate that big time, my brother. Appreciate that big time. And you have no idea how much I appreciate that. Also, shout out to my shout out to my main man Truth Teller. He dropped 50 on me, y'all. He dropped the 50. He said, I don't even qualify for a gun. So, he ain't even trying to get no shows. He said, I don't even qualify for the gun. But I appreciate the 50, my brother. Appreciate the 50. And shout out to Shaka Nulu. And matter of fact, Shaka Nulu, throw your channel up there too, because I noticed that Shaka Nulu had a channel he was advertising yesterday. I meant to say something while I was on air. And why am I saying that for Shaka Nulu, y'all? Shaka Nulu was the first person to ever send me anything. Okay, way back when, first channel I had, when it was just the Cash App, he was the first person to send me anything. So he always gonna have a special place in my heart. Always gonna have a special place in my heart. First person to send me anything. So shout out to Shaka Nulu. He dropped $10 on the Cash App. Appreciate you big time, my brother. Appreciate you big time. And let's give it to Creator, who haven't had a chance to speak. Creator, you got the flow, my brother.
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, real quick, before you go, and I'm gonna try to do a much better job than I used to do about getting these super chats in quicker, so they don't lose context. So shout out to Elder Blood one more time before we get Creator in here. He said God absolutely refused to accept black women's mixed babies in Genesis chapter 6. So what do y'all think God gonna do with black women's mixed breeds in 2026 and beyond? Now, Elder Blood, I see what you did right there. Because if y'all are not aware, he going deep. Because chapter 6 in the Bible is what a lot of people have come to the conclusion. That's when the women were having sex with the angels. They had fallen,
with the angels,
and having babies with those angels, and created a whole race of people. A bigger part of the reason why they had the great flood to wipe all that Nephilim is what people refer to them as. It's a few other names, but to wipe them and other humans doing way too much out. So he kind of doing something when he say that. Now I'm gonna say, as far as the mixed babies, there's theories that the races aren't supposed to mix. As far as we see race, as far as black and white, a lot of people have theories that the races are not supposed to mix. I'm gonna say I really don't know, because once you become a part of Christ, he's not supposed to be a respecter of persons.
What does that mean? Not supposed. What does that mean?
Yeah, that's cap.
What the people, some people have come to a conclusion that black people should not be having sex with white people and having children with them, or the same thing even with other races. There are people
is that because of the particular history between black and white people, or I mean, because here's the thing, biology says it's fine for us to mix. Because we can reproduce together, which means that we're biologically compatible people. And I'm not making an argument pro or con for race mixing, I guess, or miscegenation. all these very interesting words. But biologically, we can mix, and we can mix, and the product of our mixing can reproduce.
Yeah.
So that to me is foolproof, compatibility.
And there's people who believe that black men should be able to basically take on any other kind of woman. Other men shouldn't be taking on black women. So there's people who come to different conclusions about should people mix or not. And then, like I say, there's an argument that everybody can mix because God is not a respecter of persons. So, and then there's people who believe at first we wasn't supposed to mix, but because the Jews rejected Jesus, then it was allowed for us to mix because we rejected him, which opened up salvation for the Gentiles as well.
Now my head's starting to hurt. I'm sorry to hear it.
It's a whole thing. It's the whole thing.
Okay.
Hey, Black Guru, new information for me.
Black Guru. Black Guru. Black Guru. The answer is very simple. The issue was not genetic; it was the worshiping of other gods. That these people are worshiping with other gods, so don't mix with them because you will begin to do the same thing. But when you come into the faith, no matter what race you are considered a Jew.
Right. So it's basically about not mixing culture, not.
Yes.
Do the current Jews know that? Is that
what that see? And I'm trying to stop it right here before we get way off subject.
We really
hold on. I'm gonna slow this down right here before we get way off subject, y'all. Because I'm gonna say, hey, first of all, how to rain the woman? Hey, how you doing, sister? How you doing? She been rocking with me for since the first channel, I think. Maybe if it wasn't the first channel, it definitely was the second. So shout out to Rain the Woman. I'm gonna say before we get too out of line with this, now keep in mind the Jews that they were referring to were the black Jews of the Bible. The black Jews in African territories, African areas. A lot of people refer to it as the Middle East nowadays. So so unless you like really good with geography, you don't even know they was talking about African land because that was fooling me when I was a kid myself. Until I really whoa, was it Middle East? This is Africa. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of stuff is done. So and there are white people who are considered Jews, and I forget there was a term. I think it was assimilated Jews because they picked up on the religion, but they're not a part of that Jewish birth line. Yeah, and y'all know today there's a lot of Jews that are white. They control Hollywood and all types of stuff. At the end of the day, so I'm not saying you can't be a practicing Jew if you're different color.
Yeah, those are kind of the orthodox.
Let's leave them.
So I'm saying, it's and that's gonna open up a whole other discussion. That's why I'm gonna try to just let's try to leave that alone.
We're gonna leave Bible study for Bible study. We had revival last night. Y'all could ask all these questions.
Yeah. So let's get back to the subject of the show. Being led with my main man, Creator. He gonna lead us back into the subject of the show. Go ahead, my brother, so you can get your opening statement in, and then we'll get SYSBM in after that. Go ahead.
Be quick, man. I'm gonna be under 2, bro. I'm just saying. I think the truth teller hit it on the money, man, with that chili, bro. I do. I think she really she is kind of boyish and probably just don't like girls. I think that was the nail on the head. And for years, she kind of been ambiguous, which a lot of women do. Maybe had her, she's older now, probably been wanting a white boy. And so now you at that age and at that stage where she said it. Hey, I really don't care. Right. I'm gonna live my life how I want. But that's to the point real quick, how the black man is highly desired, but the black woman is not so much of all the women. And I mean, it is what it is now, desired in looks and things of that nature, but preferred by the men of the world. That's not the case. So I'll land there.
Okay. And SYSBM, you're the only person that hasn't made an opening statement yet. So you got the mic, and we'll keep it rolling after him.
Roger, Happy Friday. I hope everybody's having a good Friday. Yeah, so Chili Thomas, Rosanda Chili Thomas. Um, First of all, I wish her good luck, and I hope this relationship goes well. And let's hope that she doesn't go bankrupt again, because if she's paying for all this to be with this white man, and I've watched the Lawrence Brothers virtually almost my entire life and everything else. But if she's doing all this by herself and he's making very little income, if they decide to get married or he gets a baby from her, she's going to end up potentially like Halle Berry, where she's going to have to end up paying alimony to him and everything else. And she's got to make another song called No Scrubs Part 2. Because these sisters, think it is a flex to be with a zaddy, and I'm not knocking him. If you love your white man, good, and everything else, I just wish that you would push the man to split 50-50 with them, where he's providing for you and everything else. Okay, I wish he was doing that for you instead of for you going up there. You're providing for him, and what you're doing to yourself is that you're getting in a severe financial debt and everything else. In the next 20 plus years or so, our income could be zero, and unfortunately, it's because some of us with it's because of the sisters, the sisterhood, who like to do all that extravagant spending. They get into financial debt when it comes to credit card issues, financial aid, etc., mortgage and everything else, because they're living by themselves and everything else, or they're trying to please their zaddy and everything else. So, I mean, just a couple of days ago, I just learned that Tina Turner's ex-husband, who she gave all that money right before she passed away, is getting ready to get married to a white woman and everything. So there goes her side of the family fortune and all that type of stuff and everything. It's because of some of these sisters and everything else are just being with some of these white men and everything else, and they're just putting themselves in financial hell and not able to pass it on to their own siblings. So, Chili, I wish you the best of luck. But in 10 years, you're going to be on the silly, you're going to be on that show complaining about your financial situation once that white man leaves you. Land my plane there.
All right. And I'm going to say shout out to the Revelator. He says Chili's relationship won't last. Y'all, not. I'm going to say this now. I don't see what the problem is. Chili is a black woman with a white man. That is an extreme potential to last. Y'all keep in mind now, black women and white men's relationship lasts longer than any other relationship in this country. Keep that in mind. Now, just because you may have some understanding of why that is, and you may know that's not the most positive thing, don't mean it ain't true. Their relationships last longer than any other particular groupings. Okay, so she may
Actually,
stay
Roger,
single forever.
that statistic is no longer true. When
Oh,
that was true, yeah, when that was true, they were using data from like the 90s. Yeah, they've reassessed it and they got the same divorce rate. What else did they
Yeah,
got with
yeah.
everybody
I think
I
we.
tried.
I don't
I
think that
tried.
the intent. I think the intent.
You tried, you tried.
We get caught up in the example of Chile because I don't think we really because we well aware, and I hope that people listening to the show well aware of racial hypergamy. Black women, like a lot of non-white women, think of white men as the top men just based off their whiteness. They can make 13,000 a year. It's well understood, well documented that they still see them as the top men. We not gonna. The intent of the show ain't necessarily us to be mad at racial black women for seeing white men as the top of the heap. I guess the idea is just understanding, accepting that it's a good chance if you're dating a non-black woman, she could be even Asian, that she's going to perceive white men better than you because they're white. And how you navigate that is the question, I think, the more important question.
And the thing is, because the show is really about how America sees black men, because we have to be perfect at the end of the day. if you paid attention to things, okay, let's say you're applying for a job, you got to come dressed fresh to death. You know what I'm saying? You don't get to just come in the jeans and a t-shirt and talk to somebody who may be hiring. Now, if the white guy do it, he got a good chance of still getting in there. I don't care what the job is. It don't have to be it could be just something where all you need is a high school diploma or GED. It don't have to be technical. You could be getting some job at, let's say, Walmart. Okay, that's a very big company. You just applying for Walmart. As a black man, you kind of need to dress up. Anybody else, they can go to Walmart and they can show up for an interview. They don't need to dress well. They just go, hey, yeah, I just want to work. And it's fine. I see the way managers treat folks. I know a lot of folks who are hiring managers. I paid attention to what men had to do, or even the women had to do, when they came across certain people with the power to hire somebody else. We've always been required to do far more than other people. You got to super impress somebody to get a job that any random white guy could just come in and get.
What Paul?
Hey, Roger, if she gets that play to Broadway and makes a couple of million off of that play from Washington, D.C. to Broadway, he's definitely going to stay with her. All she got to do is keep on making the money.
Well, he might be with her just for that reason. She might be with him to get him for her to get in certain spaces. You know what I'm saying? That it's a relationship. Like, he don't really have that much value other than that hue.
Well, what the thing is that, my thing is the requirement for the black man to be perfect. He can make 13,000 and still pull a chip. There's nothing wrong with that, because there's no requirement for perfection when it comes to him. He don't need to do what we got to do. That's what the issue is. He can do 13,000 and he's fine. He can be with a celebrity black woman. Now, you as a black man, you go do something and only make 13,000. You try to be with any celebrity black woman. Try to be with any black woman. Period.
Boy, that's a challenge, boy. That is a hell of a challenge. Let's try that.
Yeah. Any black woman would only making 13,000. See how that works out.
What do you mean? Guys been trying that for a long time. They've been trying that. They've been going to the gym, working out, getting their teeth, all this stuff, and it ain't been working for them. Guys have been doing that. They've been trying to make 13,000 and get these top stars. That's why.
Not top stars. Any black woman.
You're not looking at this correctly. Well, the minister was correct. We're focusing too much on Chili when you need to use Chili as a tool. See, Chili was singing no scrubs, but Chili went and got a scrub. That gives us the ability to tell these chicks, man, shut up. Because y'all go get scrubs after y'all get done singing about no scrubs. I don't want to hear that.
Actually, we can say worse. We can say y'all.
And for the second time, she's going to go in debt again.
Well, hold on. I don't care. I don't care about that. I don't care about that.
I think the most important thing that this conveys, the most important message it conveys, is that this is what she qualifies for, right? So if she can only qualify for this, how much does the rest of y'all qualify for?
Thank you.
That's the bar has been set.
Exactly. That's how you look at that. Listen, man, shut up. Just shut up. Y'all been lying. The truth is out. Y'all will take a scrub.
Yeah, it proves the standards that black women have for black men don't matter and shouldn't.
Right. But
they're delusional. They're delusional. These women are delusional.
Well, I've been enough to where I was in close proximity with some brads, some well-off brads, and them telling me what they're looking for. Because, like I told y'all in the past, I don't really know what an attractive white woman looks like, because the brads that I knew told me who was attractive, and I was looking at them like, really? So I knew that wasn't my spectrum to go in, because what I think is attractive in a white woman basically has features closer to ours, and Brads don't like that. So fine. So then when I'm talking to these Brads, they telling me what they think about their own women, what they think about women in general. So I understand that most black women ain't gonna be able to get with a Brad at all. Even bottom shelf Brads. They won't be able to get with Brads at all. Brad is gonna have to have a significant defect himself to be able to partner up with somebody who's unqualified. And I mean a significant defect, like he needs her to bathe him type defects. Or he got to take medication. If he don't take it, he gonna die. He needs somebody to watch him type defects. So I mean, they just getting what they qualify for, which is why when a black woman always says they're looking for a white dude, I'm like, good. I tell them good luck, because you don't know how difficult it is for the white women. Because I heard Brads talk about black women. Like I'm like, me and my boy and two Brads, we actually literally out together, and they telling me, yeah, I don't do black women. I just can't do it, man. And they all the stuff that we complain about, they complain about, and then they complain about other stuff, that the white people stuff, like the food. Yeah, I just don't like the taste and all that kind of stuff. And why do they gotta dress like that? Shit like this, stuff like that. That's what the Brads complain about. And they, these chicks don't know that because Brads ain't telling them, because Brads don't like them. So good luck to them. Good luck, Chili. Hope for the best.
Yeah, the point is the lowest quality white man is better than the highest achieving black man to a black woman. You can match the value of the broke white boy. What's his name?
I think Matthew Lawrence.
Matthew Lawrence. You can match his value. He the lowest rung, one of the lowest rung white boys that of status at least.
Well, you can match his money, his value to them.
You can match it by having all the stones that's on the back of the screen. If you acquire all these stones at once, if you a street nigga that's also a John Henry CEO, self-made millionaire, and a player with hella swag, and you worship women, you can match the value of the lowest quality white boy.
Now I'm gonna have to slightly disagree, and I'm gonna use an example. First of all, let me say shout out to Floyd Thompson. He says, Roger, I'm gonna excellently get them some more money through the lending business. Hey, shout out to you. He says hashtag excellent is our everyday function. Hashtag Grandma Chili.
Damn.
Hashtag Billy's welcome. Hashtag long live the habitual lifestyle. Hey, appreciate you, Floyd. Now I'm gonna say this, man. When you just said what you said about this gun, y'all. There's a black man who was he's very close to all these things. And let's keep that in mind. Let's keep this in mind. He's very close to all these things.
Who is it?
He has a name. And a lot of us know who he is. Real talk. And
Michael B. Jordan?
He got married. No, all these things.
Michael B. Jordan ain't got no street cred, stone boy.
You know what I'm saying? Truth be told, his name was Will Smith.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Well, Will Smith's street cred stone is in question. It got to be.
I got to get in that one. Wait, hold on. How old are you?
No, I mean that's not information.
No. I'm trying to figure out why he don't think Will Smith don't have.
No, I know where he's from, but I'm saying from the guy.
No. You don't remember DJ Jazzy Jeff and when they came out with Summertime.
No. From the guy point of view, Will Smith was always milquetoast. He ain't go to jail. He ain't in prison long enough. You got
back in the late 80s, early 90s, he wasn't milquetoast. Like my sister.
When it was him and DJ Jazzy Jeff making funky, they was making really
good
music.
Are y'all y'all trying to tell me Will Smith is considered? He's the poster boy for anti-gangster rap. He was the opposite of a gangster rapper.
No. His conversion in the 2000s, because he left that after the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's when he
that was in the 90s.
He went right. well, after that in the 2000s is when he left all that behind.
True.
So he was
Summertime.
there already.
What year did Summertime come out? That
I'm
was
not even talking about Summertime. Summertime is recent. Before
No,
Summertime.
the song "Summertime" was before the Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
exactly.
That's
That was
right,
in
but
the
I'm talking about
early
before
90s.
Summertime. Yeah, no.
I got to
Yeah,
insert
yeah, it
this real
was.
quick. Shout out to
It's like
Floyd Thompson.
94, I think.
Yeah, hold on, real quick, y'all. Say real quick, I gotta insert this. Shout out to Floyd Thompson. He said he's got street cred when you can slap somebody at the Oscars.
No, man. I
Hey,
think people.
shit.
The reason why people looked at it like Will Smith smacked him at the Oscars because people already kind of didn't think he was a street tough nigga.
No,
He
no,
was trying to perform some tough nigga shit.
but
Now look,
that's a joke. What I'm saying though is Will Smith did have street cred. We can argue about how much street cred he's
Yeah, we
retained
can argue
over
that.
time, but he did have street cred, and he married a woman. And realistically speaking, he got one of the worst marriages black men see.
No, Roger, no, I gotta push back because think about it. Jada is Will's wife. Jada was in love with Tupac because Tupac really had his street cred stone. Y'all gotta realize the
That's
guy
some
not
ghetto broad stuff. Check it out. When Will
Well, no,
Smith,
I'm saying it's true. It's true.
I'm
Will
not
Smith at his
saying.
prime, at his peak, bro. Will Smith was that dude.
No.
He was a bully type, tall type of guy. You know what I'm saying? He was one of us.
Right.
Bro, real talk. He
What
was
Roger
he wasn't no
said.
punk.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to come up, walk up. How we talking about Will Smith today? That was not the lure in his prime. You didn't see Will Smith as no type of punk. Nobody you could walk up on and just think.
No, I'm not saying that, bro. I'm
This
saying
is why it's remarkable.
I'm saying
that
his reputation
behaving
was
the way
clean.
she
He was clean cut. We can't really argue.
No, he was not that, bro. That was not the image.
Y'all saying in reality,
Yeah,
if
you
you
ain't
really
over
knew
that.
Will
Remember
Smith,
that. I am.
No, I'm
That's
saying
why-
his image. He was not selling a street cred. That was part of his image, not really having the sales.
See, you only thinking about up to Summertime. Right. If you talking about before that, late 80s, early 90s, that's not he transformed into what you're describing. That's not what he was.
He was the first guy that transitioned over from rap to acting on screen. He was the guy who made that a trend. He was one of our street rappers back in the day.
Wait, Will Smith was a street rapper?
Y'all bugging.
Yes, he was.
No,
Yes.
hold on,
Yes.
y'all. Hold on, y'all.
From me,
Hold
parents
on.
just don't understand, guy.
Hold on.
Yes.
Hold on, real quick, y'all. Real quick. I'm not even. I did not present an argument about how street Will Smith is. What I'm saying about Will Smith is he basically was the complete package. When you look at the Stones, and you look how Will Smith moved, he basically was doing all the Stones.
And my objection is he never had his street cred stone. I'm saying I'm not saying in a more from a gynocracy sense. The standards are really high. That's the point of the gauntlet. It's like a real infinity gauntlet. You don't you can't be from the hood of Philly and you got your street cred stone in the gynocracy. You gotta have a body.
No.
You gotta have been.
I can agree with what he just inserted. He's saying he didn't have a street cred when it comes to the women.
I don't recall Will having this hardcore street cred thing, but I will say this. Will reportedly was on the scene a lot tougher than the whole parents don't understand thing. Will ended up getting arrested for fighting and he had a reputation of laying hands because dudes were stepping to him that parents just don't understand stuff. Kind of like what they tried to do to Hammer and Hammer really, Hammer really
that's another
New York
gangster.
boys. Hammer really flipped the script on the New York boys. So Will in his background, he wasn't the parent just don't understand guy.
Right.
He wasn't that.
No, I get that, but that also
there's
proves
no
his
story.
image.
There's no stories confirming that. There's stories of MC Hammer coming through, and they didn't like. I ain't never heard anybody confirm Will Smith was any kind of tough in any from any of them industries. There hasn't been a Vlad interview
No,
or any interview in this time we got.
There's a mugshot of Will out there, man.
No,
There's a
let's not go
mugshot
down.
of Will out there.
We're not reaching.
Let's not
We just
question
saying.
Will's.
Donald Trump got a mugshot.
Hey! Before we get too out of hand, my point was Will Smith is pretty close to having all them things. Compassionate, or the minister here, he's saying the main thing is 2 black women. Because Will Smith did have a reputation for having hands, because people were stepping to Will Smith because they thought he was just this soft rap guy when you had the gangster rap thing. So there are stories about how Will Smith has literally beaten the brakes off people because they stepped to him.
Literally.
Okay, this is not a Hollywood thing or a bodyguard. Yeah. No, it's stories about how Will Smith was beating the brakes off people. But that does not mean black women saw him and gave him any level of street cred. So I understand where compassion is coming from. He's saying the women still wouldn't have seen him as a person with street credibility anyway, even though he literally was out there beating the brakes off people for stepping to him. So
in today's time, maybe then, I'm saying if you're talking then, it would be warranted. If you're talking now, maybe not. But talking, in 20 years, the comparison will be totally different.
No,
his time, yeah, he was apex, bro.
No, the point is, this, and you was right, Roger. That's my ultimate point. Y'all are right. Up here, we truly trying to evaluate the manhood of Will Smith. Of course, he was probably a stand-up man that defended himself and does have stories of whooping niggas' ass. I'm saying from a image standpoint, he was never trying to sell that he was a street cat, which from a gynocratic standpoint is a diminishing attribute. That's my point. It's not that from a black community standpoint, Will Smith is not a street guy, so he didn't ever get all the stones, which is what the gynocracy would explain why we shouldn't respect him, like give him all the respect that he actually deserves outside of the gynocratic perspective. So it's just a lens to look at. And I think Will Smith is a perfect one. He achieved great monumental things, but he couldn't achieve the street nigga shit, which is also actually an impossibility. That's the point. No black man has ever achieved all the stones because that nigga would be dead. It'd be impossible to do it. That's the point.
That within itself is the point of the show. Like, you can't be all the things that they want. It's a cover up for them to say, I'm gonna be a hoe until this super nigga shows up.
Yes.
I get to do everything I want, right? I get to do everything I want, and the man that I got to go pull got to be super nigga.
As soon as something shows up that looks like super nigga, she gonna be like, but can you ice skate on sand?
But no, exactly. I think we can't pigeonhole with just the women. The point is, the colder point is, men. I think black men evaluate you by these same.
Yeah, that is true.
Yep. Well, my point of the show is that we are trained in white supremacy as black people, and when it comes to black men, we literally do expect perfection out of them. And if we don't have perfection, people attack them. Well, let me read these super chats real quick, and then let me get Sharks in for a legitimate opening statement, because Shark trying to just bogart his way in. He didn't quite do it the way he wanted to do it, but I see he trying. So let me clear some room for you, brother.
My bad.
Shout out to Chad Powers, y'all. He says white men really be running through black women, but it's a notch on the belt while the sisters think they doing something. Laugh out loud. And I'm gonna say Chad is on point, because and the thing is, it's about perspective. For a white man, it is just a sexual toy type situation for a lot of them in a lot of those scenarios. For a black woman, it's her being able to brag to her friends that she was able to sleep with a white man. So it's all about perspective sometimes. Shout out to Joe's. Joe says, I've seen fine non-white women with a white man that's munted. Okay, as long as he's quiet. What's this? As long as he's quiet all What's that stand for, y'all? HWHIT? Does that stand for something?
White.
Probably.
Yeah, the grammar all fucked up in this one, man. You got
As long as no, I mean he obviously did that one on purpose. I guess you got it's a way to
It's
say
because
it.
you pronounce it. It's because actually the way you
White
pronounce
on
it
white.
it's height is how you
Right.
pronounce it. Yeah, that's how you pronounce it.
God damn it. That's crazy. That is what
I knew it was something too.
If you ever hear white people talk, that's how they pronounce it. With an H in front of the W. For real.
that
He's
is
right.
crazy. Not
Shout out to
white.
you, Jones. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. And shout out to Elder Blood one more again. He says, once a man lay down and take it like a woman, God don't even recognize his manhood, nor
Don't talk
forbearance
about Will
anymore.
Smith like that.
Okay?
Don't talk about
People
Will Smith like that.
people don't do Will Smith like that. People miserably fail to understand this. Now I'm gonna say, to me, now you know what? I'm gonna say this. Yeah, because if you're a black man and somebody's able to quote unquote take your manhood, you are looked at it in a much different way than a white man who willingly participates in his manhood being taken. Think about that. Cause I mean, shout out to all the gays out there, but let's keep it real. That come from white folk. You know what I'm saying? Black folks wasn't doing that gay stuff like that. Black folks had to be convinced that being gay is okay, and they still trying to do a whole lot of convincing right now. Because most black men just don't even accept that as a way of life. But shout out to the white folks. They've been proven over the centuries. They've been doing this gay thing for a long time. You know, so you can't out gay them. But they still respected as men, even though they lay their manhood on the table, as they say, but they get the respect. Shout out to Gary Miller. He says Tupac was the first everything in the 90s. That ninja with mad tats, the ninja in movies. Shout out to the shootouts with the police, vice versa. President wanted him gone. He was lit.
Yeah,
And Tupac is Tupac is a good I mean, a person who did achieve a lot. But I'm just saying, from this infinity gauntlet,
didn't
Will
get them
Smith
all.
was kind of hitting them all.
No, I think Tupac got them all. How
No,
Tupac
he
ain't get
didn't.
them all?
No, he didn't.
Which one he didn't get?
The John Henry Stone.
Yeah, I'm looking at the John Henry. Like, I really no. You know what though? Tupac did. He had a big work ethic. He definitely had a better work ethic than other rappers around him.
I ain't gonna take nothing from Tupac, man. The dude, he was a thug.
He actually wasn't a thug.
Not in reality,
he was a
image
poet.
wise.
He was a writer. No, we're talking about image wise. Image wise, he was a thug. Now, for real, he actually went to school with Jada Pinkett to a art school, and I'm gonna find the video of it and send it to you guys.
It's in Baltimore. He's from New York.
He was actually very effeminate, and I would say for the gynocracy, for the black gynocracy, he is the greatest actor of all time because he acted the part of the thug, and everybody believed it.
That's all that's necessary. Your image being that's true. But I'll say the John Henry Stone more characterized by the notion that you did it all by yourself, that you're a self-made man. That. So I think he could make that claim. He wasn't like put on by Biggie or some bigger artist necessarily. So I don't see what Stone he didn't get. That's why I think
I want to ask a question though, because
because I got a super chat in here that I want to get to that, and I'm gonna say I'm giving Tupac some credit, and I know if he wouldn't have died so early, he definitely the John Henry Stone wouldn't even be in question. Because he did outwork a lot of other people around him. Mm-hmm. I just don't know if he had the reputation amongst the masses of being this hard worker, but he definitely had it in him. So I think if he would have stayed alive another 10 years, it would not even be in question.
Tupac is arguably one of the most talented people of the latter half of the 20th century.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This guy was making hit songs and movies. He made like
Yes,
about
sir.
3 movies in like 1 year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Juice, Poetic. What is it?
Nobody. No,
Poetic Justice.
not Will Smith. None of them guys
Jason's
were
Lyric.
as talented as Tupac. None
No,
of
no.
those guys were as
And,
talented as
And you
Tupac
talking about
because
cultural
Tupac
impact.
was a more gifted. Tupac was a more gifted actor than Will. Tupac was a good actor,
Low
like
key.
legitimate.
Definitely.
Will
Definitely.
had to
Yeah.
work. Will had to work on becoming an actor. Tupac was a natural. Well, I guess he had been trained at the art school, but he was a
yes.
truly gifted actor.
Yeah.
And I'm saying but even before I said Will Smith, I did think about Tupac too. But I understand it's also about reputation. I don't know if Tupac had the reputation of being the hard worker. I know for sure he was a hard worker.
Right.
I just don't know if his
No,
reputation was there.
he definitely had a reputation. He had the reputation. They were releasing albums almost 10 years after he died.
Exactly.
Oh, I
How
know.
you think they were producing all them albums?
What I'm saying, why he was alive.
Everybody knew. Everybody back then knew how hard Tupac worked.
Look,
Everybody
They
knew
knew.
that.
Look.
They knew in the studio that he was working hard,
Look,
and he got shot and
Yeah.
survived it.
He was known for his,
I'm saying the people in media, the people who was actually working, they knew. I'm saying I don't know if the masses knew that Tupac was as hard a worker as he was, because he was a very hard worker.
Look, Tupac was this is what I'm trying to say. With Tupac, and this is no shot at him, because to Uru's point, he is one of the most prolific artists of the 20th century. From the gynocracy standpoint, he is the prototypical perfect man.
He the perfect,
has all the stones as the gauntlet shows. And I'm saying from a gynocratic standpoint, and we would have to admit that he's even more so than Will Smith. He has all these stones, and that's why he's revered as such. Tupac is revered. Niggas got tattoos of Tupac.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely far more revered than just about anybody at the end of the day amongst
I think,
black folks as a whole.
When you say this about Tupac, he really, you are right. Somebody said that he paved the way for Will Smith, and I agree. In fact,
Stop reading my chat when y'all holding me up from even reading my super chat. Okay? Stay out my chat.
He was.
He didn't. Nah, Will Smith was already kicking it in before.
Yeah, let me get my super chats in, and y'all, I'm gonna be swapping people in and out because I got my main man backstage, and I want him to be able to get in and get his word in. So if you get knocked out for a few minutes, don't panic and disappear. Okay. You'll be brought back up on stage, okay? You ain't got to panic, all right?
Take out True Teller for all that trouble he started yesterday.
Niggas keep giving me soup, man. It ain't fair. It ain't fair.
Shout out to Floyd Thompson, because now I need a clarification. He said he transitioned to film and started his own company and got white man's money. White man's money. Had the Latinas melting, hashtag bad boys for life, hashtag nice guy for black women, hashtag he'll fight Mike Tyson. Okay, I was trying to figure out, was this about Tupac or Will Smith, but this obviously was about Will Smith. That was obviously about Will Smith. So shout out to Floyd Thompson, and shout out to him for the 57-cent Trail Bentley tax. Appreciate you, my brother. And shout out to my main man, Terenzo Jones. He says, when no scrubs drop, I was becoming a Marine with the girlfriend still at home in 95. I now have both a Marine and Army honorable discharge, and she's now a single mother. Bruh, if when the table turns was a person. Shout out to you, brother. And you know what? I appreciate you saying that, because yes, that is showing that when you are the perfect black man, it just don't count the same, y'all. It just don't count the same. And that's on a celebrity level and a non-celebrity level. Because I want this to be known that I'm talking about us as a whole, y'all. So what, celebrity or not, it's the same old thing. Shout out to Bad Black Gamer, who also says Pac was a pure on Pac was a. What do you mean by this? Owned by Digital Underground? Because I know he did used to rock with Digital Underground.
He was put on by Digital.
You put on.
Yeah,
He was put on.
okay, yeah, he's put on by Digital Underground.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah, shout
We
out to
gotta
the
get
Bad
you.
Black
We
Gang.
gotta get Roger some street cred. He can't even read this stuff right.
I mean, no, that
He
one was
gangster, right?
misspelled. That one was a misspell. That wasn't no.
Raj, let me say this. But peep
That's
this.
reading glasses.
Let me point this out. Notice how we're even trying to discount a stone that Tupac was able to acquire, because that even we as black men are really harsh on on the standards of acquiring the stone. We saying no, Digital Underground put him on, so he can't say he's a self-made man. That was my point. I think we even operate, as weird and wacky as it sounds, we operate by this gauntlet standards amongst each other. Ultimately, I think if you analyze it closely.
Okay, now I'm gonna have to break in right there because I got two guests that need to be able to speak. Okay, so y'all, this is where the swap out start to stop because I got Jado backstage. So oh, matter of fact, dang, my bad.
You got some
That's
tough
Kiss My
decisions
Feet.
to make today.
Now, Kiss My Feet. No, it's just gonna be unless you have privilege, which congressional privilege. That all we don't. No, matter of fact, he gone, which means that opened up a spot.
I told you, I identify as a white man today.
All right, you do. You do. Well, you know what?
Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that. Don't do me like that.
Hey, you said it yourself. You identify as a white man today. So who's getting removed first? The white man. Okay. Shout out to Jado. Jado, now you're replacing the white man. I hope you feel a little bit better about that because I know I do. Okay. I know I do.
Thanks.
So you got your 2-minute opening statement, brother. Go right ahead. How you doing?
I ain't even get mine in, Raj.
Oh yeah,
My
Shark.
bad. Yeah, Shark. My bad, Shark. My bad, Shark. All right, Shark. Go ahead. Then we'll give it.
Let Jado go and I'll come in after Jado. You already got him riled up.
Are you sure? Yeah, I am chomping at the bit. Sorry, but sorry, you sure, bro? Please, man.
Yeah. And shout out to the Great Black Reset for volunteering, even though he know he was volunteering. Go ahead, Jado.
No, man, very, very great topic here. Hey, salute to all the fellas on the panel and everybody in the chat, man. Hey, Tupac definitely, man, he qualifies, especially, I'm getting a little dark here, with the John Henry Stone, as Compassionate Chalice put it. He is the ultimate winner of that song, the possessor of that song. Let me say that, because he died, man. And that's the main thing. And so the dark part I want to get into, which a lot of black men don't want to realize, I've come to this conclusion myself, that a lot of these black women look at you until they want you gone, man. And maybe they're not consciously thinking this. I think it's more of a subconscious thing. Sometimes it is conscious, but they want you to keep chasing and doing and achieving and doing what they say you should be doing until you're gone or there's nothing left of you. So if you don't physically pass, hopefully you'll be so worn out and done that you're impotent, or I don't know what the word I want to use. So a lot of times they want that, and it's a dark thing. They want to keep getting and taking from you until you're gone, man. And I guess I'll end right there. Thanks for having me, Ross.
Hey, appreciate that, brother.
It reminds me of a YouTube song, the White Rock Group. Some of the songs is good, but that song, and you give yourself away, and you give, and you give, and you give yourself away, with or without you. Yeah, I think I think what you're saying is it's almost like proof. It's this ultimate sort of validation that you're willing to give everything. Like, that I'm so wonderful that you're willing to give everything to me, and even beyond the grade, because it don't even be just about what you gave when you were alive.
Yeah.
Nigga, it be about what Papa left after he died.
Yeah.
You know, or what
And
he didn't leave.
the killer part about it is you're long gone, and whatever narrative they can make up, whatever narrative about you after you gone, you can't even defend
And
yourself.
whatever fits, and whatever fits what was good for them. If you left this great estate, a lot of money, creature comforts, whatever, you know, Cadillac, Escalade, all that, great. If you did, although you might have worked yourself to the bone, well, you were a failure, and they forgot all about you. But sometimes the worst things will happen is you will have done all those things and left all those things, and they don't even talk about you or remember.
Nope.
Big Monk
Won't
gets
even
all the
acknowledge.
credit for everything that Papa died for 20 years ago.
Yeah, but Pawpaw done had a swag stone, Uru. And that's how they look at it.
You either got it
I
or
Grandpa,
you
guess not.
don't. You know.
Grandpa
That,
is just a picture in the basement.
I do have a question though, Roger, and it's related to what
you
I
but
was referencing before in my cash app. Sorry, you
hold
guys,
on,
people coming up. Go ahead.
Now you gotta get
yeah, I
Shark.
gotta get these. No, I got the super chats. No, and yeah, I gotta get Shark in, and I'm gonna get you in right after Shark, and I gotta get these super chats in. Shout out to Afro Merchant. He says for Rogers reading glasses, hashtag support Black Men Media. I should have called you Afro National on that one. That's what I should have did. Just said, my read was all. That's what I should have did. But
I
I'm gonna
just
let you
started wearing reading
slide.
glasses this year, y'all. So it ain't no joke for real. It is not a joke.
Welcome to
Shout
the
out to
party,
Step.
pal.
Shout out to Step Brother Dry Repair. He says black men need to be perfect is a loaded truism. Black men excelling the enemy. You don't need perfection per se. Black men winners equal marks for exploitation. And I'm going to push black men don't need to actually be perfect, but this is the world that we're living in where everyone does look at us as if we do have to be perfect. And my thing is, this is about black men seeing where we are and telling society, no, we ain't got to do all that. Shout out to Jakari Turner. He says, and shout out to Jakari Turner, because I don't know who this is, so it might be his first time ever sending anything. He might be a newer person to the show. So definitely appreciate you, brother. It's always great to see new people. He said Tupac gets the glove, but Jay-Z, like him or not, got all his rings strategically with the bad chick on his arm. I think that
Jay got it. I think Jay got it.
yeah, I think that's a good example. Yeah, Jay definitely got it. Jay definitely got it. Real talk.
Am I permitted to go now?
Yeah, you ain't got to say it like that, but yeah. Go ahead, and we gonna get Truth Teller in right behind you, so Truth Teller don't lose his point. Go
Truth
ahead,
Teller,
brother.
Uru, y'all good with me going now? Because you know now,
My bad.
zoning
My
out. I'm
bad.
like,
Go ahead, bro.
Uru,
Go
I
ahead,
can go.
bro.
Uru, I'm good.
You got it. You got it, Negro.
I
Go ahead.
don't know. It depends on what you're saying. Your first three
I don't want to
words.
step
Let's see
on no
what you gonna
toes.
say.
But yeah,
you reserving judgment.
as far as y'all saying Will Smith, all the rings, no, that's a definitely no. There was no street credibility with Will Smith. Tupac definitely gets the ring with the gold glove. Because Tupac, y'all said he wasn't a thug. He the only nigga that shot at the police and got away.
Yeah, and got away. No, he shot cops and got away with it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Shot cops and got away with it. And then talked about it.
Yeah.
Definitely all of them. You know what I mean? And it's ironic that y'all was saying like the 13K thing. Cause man, when I ain't have shit and I was just in the house trying to figure it out, I got the most tail ever.
Facts.
All I had was weed and game. And boy, I was swimming in dames. So
That's all you need.
that's like when they say this, you need this and you gotta be perfect. I look at them like, Yeah, you just saying that to make a person who don't think they could get you think they can't get you. But that's just a deterrent. You know, as a black man, you already perfect. God made you perfect. And I land with that.
I'm gonna say, well said, brothers. Well said. And shout out to Afro Merchant. He says, y'all owe Shark an apology from foreshadowing Jay-Z nonsense to skipping over him today. Hashtag singing Uru tax. Hashtag rest in peace, Pac and Biggie. Hashtag long live the unappreciated black men. Hey, appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. We gonna formally apologize to Shark in Bible study where can't nobody hear. Well, y'all don't know if you really did it.
Fully apologize in Bible
We gotta write something up. I can't just give them any kind of vibe. We gotta write something up, make it good. Y'all know how that go, you know. But yeah, but my point to this though is that black men are looked at as if we do have to be these perfect people, and I'm saying that amongst black men because a lot of us we've been affected and we've been raised in these single mother homes too. We can't act like it hasn't happened to any of us. And I'm saying in all levels, it ain't just about relationships or pulling the chick. I go to a job, I know I got to outperform all these other people. I got to be basically the perfect candidate in order so I can get hired so they don't just go with somebody else. You know, and as a person who worked for a company, I ain't gonna say the name, but I told y'all before, I came into that company, they quote unquote overhired, and they told us they overhired, and they told us in 30 days, well they said that on the 29th day, we're gonna let some of y'all go, and we're gonna keep the best of whatever we got of this particular crop. Now I was in that boy shining. I was doing everything, y'all. It was a factory job. Every assignment they gave me was a piece of cake. It didn't even feel like real work to me. And I thought I was balling because this is, I don't know, I'm 19-ish, 20-ish or something. I'm getting 11 something an hour when $10 an hour was a thing. You know, when people was talking about get you a job making $10, and I was getting 11 and I'm young. I was balling for 29 days. I balled for 29 days.
for 29 days. God damn.
Now, it didn't make no difference how excellent I was. I knew I was outperforming other people, but like I said before, this is the same place where I looked around. There wasn't no other young black men there. And the only other black men I seen around my age, them dudes had just got hired too. So I was like, okay, I know I ain't finna be here.
Raj, what Paw and them used to say? First fired, last hired. Like that's something we walk around with or is taught from an early age. That's the dynamic you stepping into when you go into the workforce as a black man. So if you're gonna be hired, you better be 3 times better than the next nigga or the next person. Or because you're gonna be the first fired and you're gonna be the last hired.
Well, I'm gonna say wholeheartedly, I knew I was better than a lot of them other folks, but when I looked around and couldn't find no other young black men there, you know what I'm saying? I was like, you know, I'm gonna try to get to these 30 days, but I knew good and well right then it's a good chance I may only be here for 29. But I did with everything I could to get past that 29th day. I'm telling you, it wasn't nothing I turned down, nothing, not even my cop. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. And shout out to Unity is Strength. He says black young men who are introverted or have trouble with self-confidence being a black man, go and watch Kevin Samuels episodes titled "You Deserve Better" and embrace being arrogant every morning. I don't know what those episodes are, so I can't really say. Well, I'm pretty sure they're gonna be good. I mean, you know, Kevin Samuels did do a great job when he was here, so rest in peace to that brother. So I'm pretty sure that's great advice to follow.
That was the episode when he was telling niggas, telling brothers, you know, you could go holler at different women, and they was calling the show up, like crying, like, but Kevin.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah. That was
Kevin,
that was the show that shocked Kevin because it showed how damn near You say it all the time, Roger, how we based a lot of black men socialized to only look at black women as potential mates. And it really, when he suggested, hey man, expand your options, like Shark just said, they literally called in, black men called in saying, why should I look past black women? And it turned into a debacle.
Yeah, when your mama tell you all this stuff, and keep in mind, y'all, I said to myself, I was so convinced that the black community needed me that I got to go get the black women, and I wasn't even raised by only a woman's influence.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? But I thought the black community needed me. You know
No,
what I'm
Roger,
saying?
the black community do need you. It's just the fact of the matter, do they deserve you? But they do need us.
Man,
I don't think they
the truth,
deserve us, though.
the truth is, every one of us got a little bit of Santana in us. A little
Okay,
bit.
nah, Kev, you
true.
going too
Damn.
far, Kev. You going too
Come
far.
on.
He said you going
First
too
of all,
Too far.
far.
Truth
first of
teller,
all, I
come
got to
get your
pause
own.
on that. But second,
No,
When you think about
no,
it,
I'm
that's a
just claiming
that's a
that.
pause.
the
All right,
propaganda,
hold fast, y'all. Hold fast. I know it's good.
Oh,
Okay.
oh.
And you can say Paul Craig behind that once you say everybody need a little bit of sense. But I gotta read the super chat and I gotta get Bad Black Gamer in here too, because Bad Black Gamer done came up. So just hold fast 1 second, y'all. Shout out to Jakari Turner one more again. He says OG told me if black women can't have God, white men, and he's referring to their God is white men. He said, then they will take the next best thing, the devil, aka thugs, pimps, hustlers. And I'm saying that you are completely on point because at the end of the day, they need some kind of way to imagine that they still can control you. You gotta come compromise. So it is what it is. You're not gonna be able to win with them regardless. At the end of the day, you're not gonna be able to win with them. But let me give it over to Bad Black Gamer. You got the flow, my brother.
Hey, how y'all doing, fellas? Good morning. Salute to the chat.
Good
Can
morning,
you hear
brother.
me okay?
Yeah, we hear you fine.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. I was trying to come up right quick when I was talking about the Will Smith and Tupac debate and the street cred and all that. Well, one thing I wanted to point out was back in because Will Smith was older than Tupac. He was already out and famous and stuff before Tupac even came to the picture. There's actually a video I posted in the back chat of Tupac and Jada Pinkett when they were like in middle school, and they were actually dancing and singing the lyrics to "Parents Don't Understand," playing in the background at like some little studio, back in the day.
He trolling Tupac.
That's hilarious.
But I'm trying to point that. I just want to point that out. Also, there was like when I heard the story about like when the director was telling Juice. Sorry.
No, go ahead, bro.
No, it's your uninterrupted opening statement. So if one of these moms try to talk over you, you run over them with your word. You run right past them with your word. You keep on going.
But yeah, okay. But the other thing I just want to point out was like when the movie Juice, right? The director was telling the story about how like when Tupac was acting in that role and he was acting as Bishop, and I think everybody remember the role, Juice and him as Bishop in that role. They say that when he was watching that role back then, like I guess when they they let them view the movie before they put it out, that it was like right then and when he saw that in Tupac's eyes, when Tupac decided that he was going to adopt that personality from Bishop, right, in that movie. So really, Tupac wasn't like, he was never really like the thug everybody thinks he was. That whole thing was really an act. But of course, it's an act that the black women like. You know what I'm saying? The guy kind of the guy controversy likes. So, but really, that was a whole act. That was never really truly him. I guess in some regards, he became a street dude because he went to jail and he got shot, in the studio messing with Diddy and all that other shit. But really, that was never really truly him. That was something he adopted. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of just want to point those two things out. That he was not really the street dude that he was made out to be. That was kind of like the whole thing was an act, for my opinion. But y'all carry on.
Well, I'm gonna say whatever I told y'all is the most important thing to black women: image. So that's
Image.
all you. That's all you need. You know,
Yeah.
they worried about their image all the time. So when they look at you, they just gonna see what image you put forth. You ain't got to be it. You just gotta have the image of it.
Let's be real. We a group of black men
Well,
right now. We
I
grew
think
up in the
it's
black.
I think it's more I think it's a little more complicated than the brother described, because although he kind of alluded to it on the back end, hey man, I'm a pretty kind of, square type dude. But if I get shot up or sent to prison on some bullshit charges, I'm probably gonna start acting pretty damn gangster too at some point. I mean, those kinds of things are probably gonna. I mean, not to say that some of whatever way he did was contrived, but he apparently got railroaded into jail, got shot up, perhaps by people who he thought were friends of his. That probably will kind of change your general disposition on a lot of stuff. Again, obviously he wasn't the thug, I guess, that, let's say, Easy E was, in terms of the actual background in that regard. But yeah, I mean, after you've gone through some things like that, it is going to affect your behavior, because they pretty much, until Suge went and got him up out of there, they pretty much was going to just hold him up in there.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I mean, Tupac is a good choice, but I'm gonna try to move away from him a little bit, because these are these rich and famous people, and truth be told, the gangster stuff is cool and all. I still don't even believe gangsters even got at Tupac. You know what I'm saying? That's not my personal belief. I think Tupac was amassing too much influence, so that's why he was taken out. In real talk, and I think professional shooters killed Tupac. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion of the situation. But hey, if you listen to that, I mean, if you watch the docu series, you might get a different opinion. Shout out to 50 Cent. But when it comes down to it, though, because my thing is, y'all, I mean, we can get caught up in the celebrity talk, but I do like to make sure we talking about this stuff from a real world standpoint, and the things that everyday people actually have to go through. So at the end of the day, the only reason I really even brought Chili up was because the man she would make, I don't even want to say everyday dollars, because in America, if you only make 13,000, people look at you as you kind of behind. Okay, and if we're being realistic, you know what I'm saying. If you only make 13,000, people gonna assume you just got the first fast food job.
25,000 is the poverty line. So
Roger, tell the truth. That man getting food stamps when ain't nobody getting food stamps, man.
he definitely qualified for food stamps. He below the poverty line.
Wait, so y'all saying that white boy make $13,000 a year?
He reported on his W-2s.
His last year, we'll say that last year.
I read the article that he was at court. His baby mama, his ex-wife, they was in divorce court or something. So his W-2s got pulled, and he only reported 13,000 for like 2023.
Oh, he only reported 13,000
on his W-2. So
I mean, you ain't seen him in nothing either, though, because you a white man, you an actor. You may refuse to work unless it's the quote unquote work you believe that you are owed. And I haven't seen him in anything. And I'm gonna say, as a person who has reviewed movies, and I ain't reviewed every movie I've seen, I ain't seen dude in nothing. Okay.
No, the article actually listed the income from residuals from being in Disney's Channel shit. So that's where he got the 13,000 from.
Yeah,
I got you.
So he more than, at least in what I think, because I can't say I've watched his whole life. I don't think the dude did anything. He been chilling. Yeah, I'm not saying he not auditioned or nothing, but I done seen a lot of stuff. And ain't seen him pop up in anything.
I think he was low key living off his ex-wife. His ex-wife, low key, that he was with before Chili, was a white girl who had more money than him. She divorced him. He had to move home with his mama. He met Chili and then moved in with her. Basically,
I thought she was black.
That's the player stone right there.
Y'all ain't gonna keep talking about.
Wait a minute, he white. He don't need no stone.
Yeah, no,
he white.
Yeah, he got the white stone. So if you got the white stone, you don't even need
Right. You don't worry about no gauntlet, and you born with the white stone. You don't even worry about no gauntlet. You don't collect nothing. You collect these
Y'all,
hoes. That's what you collect.
y'all ain't gonna keep mischaracterizing Brad. He is very family oriented. He's sacrificing his ability to make money to be home with his family members, bro.
Is his brothers doing that too? Because I think two of them was over there too.
No, I think
At their mama
he
house.
he the lowest rung. He the lowest rung white boy in the clan in the Matthews clan. It looked like.
No, but
So
but when he went back home, they said the younger brother was already there when he got there.
Oh wait, shit! Hey, they took that down bad.
so look, we might be looking at this backwards. Chili might not be getting what she qualified for. He might be getting what he qualified for.
Nah, Shelly's definitely getting what she qualified for.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say that. She definitely
Listen, these white girls that was raised right and with these families that's trying to move up in life, they ain't messing with them.
No, KFC laid it out perfectly. This is the bottom shelf end of your run famous white boy retirement plan. You get you a black chick in entertainment with a little bit of motion, and you ride the wave to wherever it takes you. I mean,
a black chick that we can't even get, quote unquote.
yeah,
You don't, but
nobody
Roger,
want a 54-year-old chili though. She 54.
You don't want
And,
her.
and here's the
Remember,
best
she
part.
messed with
Here's the
Usher,
best
so you
part
don't
for
want that.
him. Here's the best part for him. If and when they break up, he has broken the seal on all the black women coming up after. Kind of like that dude that was one minute he was with that one star, and the next minute he was with the other black star. What's the I don't know these chicks' name. The one that won the Oscar.
Yeah.
The African girl.
Yeah.
Was it Cynthia Erivo?
Yeah, what's that one white dude?
Erivo.
He going from black actress to black actor.
I mean,
and that's how
so now that he's gotten with Chili, now that he's gotten with Chili, he can run through all of the black chicks in the entertainment business.
But they're gonna
break them.
What the thing is, the women gonna pull up Box first, cause he done slept with one of them. That's what's going on in their man. When he slept with Chili, he'll sleep with me. So they gonna pull up Box first.
Yeah, it's a win-win for black women. They don't look at it as a law. They getting what they want. They get even if it's a bottom shelf like Seventh Heaven, because that's what the dude that's running through the Cynthia Erivo, he from like Seventh Heaven. His clout was like 30 years old too. But they get what they want. They get that status boost of just a white boy. It don't matter what kind of white boy.
Yeah.
White boy validating them, and then when they break up, they still get to say, "Girl, I had the Brad." So it's no loss for black, and they ain't losing it. Don't feel they're not a victim in this.
I do want to ask a question though, because
there is one other there is a generational. I mean, you mentioned the Seven Heavens or whatever, and the guy in Boy Meets World. There are a lot of young black girls who were fans of those dudes, 25 odd years ago.
Yeah.
So
Zach from Saved by the Bell.
They're partly trading on that. Yeah, they're partly trading on that.
But I do want to say again, y'all, I don't want this to always be caught up in celebrity stuff. As a person who goes to homes and businesses, I done came across plenty of homes where the dude wasn't making no money because he was white and everything's fine. I done came across plenty of homes where technically they weren't homes. It's plenty of plenty of black wives who was with a white husband at the hotel because he couldn't keep a home. Now y'all know that's a cardinal sin in Black America. You can't keep a house nor an apartment, and she's still married to him. Don't look like she about to go nowhere. No signs that she's disrespecting him at all. Now keep in mind, I'm just a guy coming to do a job. You can disrespect your husband in front of me, and I ain't gonna say nothing. I don't see a clue of disrespect at any time that I've come across this. And yes, I've come across it more than once. Don't think, oh, you see that one. No. I ain't just seen that one time. When you deal with the public, you come across all kinds of stuff. So yes, I see the people who lost their home. When we hear all this economic news and stuff happens to people, I see them people. So I know what it's like. And they have reverence for those men, even though they cannot do what the everyday average black man can,
Well,
such
Rod,
as keep a home.
well, take it off of the star power stuff. Look at the guy DJ Kid from North Carolina that was running through like what 78 black women, gave him the STD and all of that stuff. Regular degular old looking white boy was getting more tail than anybody in North Carolina, and all he did was DJ and live in a basement.
Well, I believe his name was DJ Pope. I'm gonna put that out there too, just in case, so everybody know who we talking about. Right, regular old dude. He just happened to be a DJ. Ran through all those women, and I believe, if I remember correctly, I remember it being reported as over 700 women.
Yep.
Okay, but since he white, it's cool.
It's cool. Nobody said nothing either. But I do want to ask a question because I was saying it
Well, before
earlier.
you ask this question, let me get this in real quick.
Forget your question, nigga.
I might have to. I might forget it how old I am by the time I ask it.
You got to blame Jakari for this one, because Jakari don't like you or something. I don't know what it is, but he liked me, and I'm rocking with that. So shout out to you, Jakari. Appreciate you. Was it this third one today? So shout out to Jakari. He said, as stepbrother. Okay, I think this is for as stepbrother repair. This must be toward him. He said, a man believing he God versus being a God is self-delusion. It is the self-delusion. Women see results, and results make them bow down. White man image is set for wins. Now, and I do know stepbrother repair said something about, he did make a comment about gods, like it was something about like when white men be seen as God. And I know we were not saying white men are God, but it was said, and I think Jakari did that black women do see white men as gods. And I'm saying that does need to be taken into consideration, because at the end of the day, that's how we get to this dynamic where black men have to be perfect. And truth be told, perfect ain't enough.
Oh no, because honestly, do we really think white men get the black women that we really want?
Yeah.
Are these black women that we're salivating for, or like
They do, but they don't want to, right? The ones we find most attractive, they don't.
They get all that they want.
I was gonna say,
right. There we go.
We
there we
highly
go.
underestimate how many white boys that have their way with what type.
Oh yeah.
If they had the desire to, Shark, they could take a lot of the bras we really like, bro.
Yep. If they wanted to. Yep.
I got you. I got you. I got it.
Yeah, it's not about what we. And my thing is, people do put too much emphasis, in my opinion, on talking about what somebody want. We don't really know what somebody want, and people's standards ain't there. We just assume they have these standards that they don't actually have. But the truth is, can white men run through the black community and get the women that they want? And everybody know that's true. They know it's true.
Very true. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't have no problems with it. And truth be told, a lot of that makes no difference to what a black woman's marital status is either.
Nope.
Okay.
She'll give her husband up to sleep with a white man that don't care nothing about her one time.
And no, Raj, we do have a metric to measure the women's desire, because that book, The Dating Divide, took all the dating app data and basically proved that white men were the most sought after man by every race of women.
It just is what it is.
Yeah. So So they can get they can get pretty much, they can get most black women. Let's just keep it 100.
Yeah, married or single.
No, they can get most any woman, to be honest with you. Across the world, when white men travel to other countries, they're able to get their pick of the litter in various different places. You know, even in Africa, they're able to attract the most attractive women, and we're not talking about Brad Pitt. We're just talking about regular white guys, just because they're white.
Yeah.
And that's my thing. The standard is so low because we pretend there's a standard because there is none. But the standard is so low for them. You could be the black man that supersedes the white guy in every area, but they still can just, hey, well, he's white, so I got to be with him. I hope you understand. We, on the other end, no, you got to provide me a house. You got to provide me a car. And don't get me twisted, y'all. Black women ain't got no actual standard. So I'm not saying they don't mess with the guys at the very bottom, because they mess with the guys at the very bottom a whole lot. But if you're not a guy at the bottom, they give you a different measuring stick. Black women ask for what they believe they can get. So if you a bum, they don't ask for nothing really. If you have a job of any kind, they're going to ask for a whole lot, because they believe a job of any kind, you should be able to provide whatever they want. That's why when you have a job, they're going to ask you for stuff that they never ask the guy for who don't work. They operate on two different scales, and it's all about what they think they can get out of you.
Yeah, the qualifications is just different. It's like just two different qualifications.
No, I'm saying it's the same qualification as what do I think I can get out of him. So whatever they think if you don't have no job, she don't think you can just come up with $1,000 like that unless you out there hustling. You know what I'm saying? If you selling drugs, you know what I'm saying? If you doing scams, whatever, stealing cars. Now, if you're doing that, she's still gonna ask for the money, because if she think you got money from that, from even an illegal income, she still wants that. See, and so the only rule is, what does she think she can get out you? And that's what guys don't see. We think it's about something else. No, if you got a 6-figure job, she want more from you than she gonna ask of the next guy, because the next guy, he work at Popeye. So she want what she think the Popeyes guy can give. Now, if you work, you know what I'm saying, in a corporate situation, you work for Apple, what she want, what she think the Apple guy can give. If you a CEO of a company, what she want, what she believe the CEO can give. It's all about what she thinks you can give. You know, so it's just gonna be relative to whatever her mindset is about what your position is and what your position should be able to provide her. And if you win the lottery, nigga, she want a whole different level because you got it. That's her mindset. Well, you got it. You just won the lottery. Babe, you weren't even asking for this a week ago, but you won yesterday. So now everything's different. What yesterday's price ain't today's price.
If you win the lottery and tell a black woman, you crazy.
I ain't telling you to tell them you won the lottery, but if they know you won, they want something different.
Yeah.
You know, see, they push this whole thing about us and why we have to be perfect. And I'm saying this goes on with men too. We look at black men and we act like they have to be perfect at all times. And my thing is, I call it Jesus pressure. I personally don't like walking around with somebody trying to put me under Jesus pressure. Don't get me wrong, I love Jesus. It was one Jesus. That's not me. So I don't walk around believing I owe perfection to anybody. Okay, I've been this way basically my whole life. I've literally told people I work for, I'm not perfect. You asking me to be perfect based on what you require me to do for the job. So why don't you do this, since you my supervisor? Put me under some training by your perfect employee and let him train me on how to be perfect. Or you, if you perfect, you train me on perfection, then I'll start performing perfectly for you. And unless you're going to provide me with that, don't you dare tell me I can't make a mistake. Don't you dare tell me I can't ever be wrong. I don't buy into Jesus pressure. You know, and I don't buy into it from anybody. And I think a lot of black men, we have a problem because our entire society puts Jesus pressure on all of us. And we sit there like we gotta perform at this super high rate. I'm gonna read this first. Shout out to Afro Merchant. He said we going to Chili's with this one, fellas. You know what? I'm gonna get some chili this weekend. And I'm gonna think about chili while I'm at Chili's. Real talk. I'm deliberately going to Chili's this weekend. And I'm gonna talk about chili while I'm at Chili's, y'all. I'm going to do that with somebody. Okay?
Does Chili still do the appetizer specials they used to do? Was that Chili's or was that Fridays? One of the places.
That's they all do it.
Well,
Okay.
I'm gonna find out this weekend. I'm gonna get reminded of whatever. I'm definitely going there this weekend to talk about chili while I'm at Chili's. Now, and what I'm saying is this, y'all. It is too much for us to walk around believing that we have to be perfect performers. Because when you talk about black men, leadership, and things like that, if you say a black man made a mistake, they say, well, you know what? He should just never lead. But the problem was you following the man and he made a mistake. I don't have to be perfect even for the woman, for a company, a business. I ain't got to be perfect for nobody. Okay? God don't even require me to be perfect. So why I got to be perfect, all you lesser beings?
But I think I don't think black men's motive and the black woman's motive is the same as wanting black men to be perfect. I think we just understand the potential in ourselves, so we try to hold ourselves to a higher standard. Black women use the perfect to deter you to give you a reason why they don't want to mess with you and try to put things in light so you can't mess with them. But I think black men, we just hold ourselves at a standard. I don't think we look at it the same way women look at it. You think so?
No,
Man,
I think.
it's. Go ahead, Roger.
No, go ahead, brother.
I was I was gonna say, man, it's something other than you guys be thinking about, bro. They want to be hoes. So if they put out these impossible standards, see, they're telling you, I will submit to this one and only man who meets these impossible standards. But until then, I'm gonna throw this box around.
And I'm catching.
My
Go catch you much as you can, huh?
My
yeah,
thing
batter.
that is the
That
real
catching can
thing.
go in a lot of different directions, brother.
Wild pitch.
Well,
Foul ball.
I want to give some proof that what he
It
says.
was crazy.
Not that I'm saying anybody on the panel needs to prove, but I want this to be out there in the ether, as they say. How do we know that's true? Because black women would stand behind Christianity. They would use a figure of Jesus to say he's a perfect man and you're supposed to be more like him. When black men start dealing with concepts of how the Bible promotes things, there's some black women who literally start turning to witchcraft once they start figuring out the Bible had all these patriarchal elements to it.
Yes, he does.
They were standing on Jesus
That's
at
true.
first. They standing on Jesus. Me and Jesus, y'all. Miss me and Jesus. If you can't be like Jesus, I don't want nothing to do with you. And then men start saying, well, you know what? Let's look at this Jesus guy and see what he's talking about. Well, this Jesus guy, he's very patriarchal. This Jesus guy said men should leave. This Jesus guy, he's saying that, children belong to their fathers. This Jesus guy say the woman needs to bow down in this type of situation. The man needs to have the last word. What was the reaction to that? Well, let's follow Satan.
Hey,
I
Roger,
like Jesus. Let me just make
But
this last thing.
the
I
white
like
man. The
Jesus
white
when
man
you
said
could.
there's only.
Well, go ahead,
The
Black.
white man said there's only one. There's only one real cure for witches. Remember. Remember what the white.
But I just want to enforce that Jesus was the perfect entity.
You got to get rid of all elements of witchery.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying Jesus was a great thing
they were
when
serious
they
about that.
Yeah, Salem witch hunt.
Yeah. When they put Jesus in front of you, when they put Jesus in front of you thinking you'll never try to be like him because he's perfect, Jesus was the perfect character. When black men said, well, let's try to be more like Jesus, the women say, well, let's follow Satan. And why do they do this? Because they and y'all can see that black women do it. Once I say it, you will see it easily. Black women love to mess with your enemy. Whoever your perceived enemy is, that's who they like to mess with.
I think there's one more part to this, Roger. Besides that is all true. But I think there's one more aspect of this whole thing that we ain't taking into account. That goddamn gauntlet. So we talking about the stones, but you need the gauntlet for the stones to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
And truth be told, I've been thinking about this for a little while, and I was saying, I don't think I qualify for the gauntlet because I don't think I could pay the cost. That gauntlet translates in womenese to emotional and sexual fluidity for men, right? Because the first thing they'll do is accuse you of being gay if you're doing something that's not gay. So they accuse you of being gay. And if you're emotionally, controlled, managed, mature, suddenly you're either evil, bad, or also gay, right? So I think that gauntlet is probably the basis for everything that they need, because that's the first thing you need before you start collecting stones, and that's the clear sign of weakness that they could take advantage of. I think that gauntlet is probably the first thing that any woman would think you would need. And you could miss a few stones as long as you got that gauntlet on. They cool.
See, the gauntlet is designed by the gynocracy to be unattainable. It's designed to basically justify them saying, well, I want the best man I can get. And if you wanted it to be the best, to justify me not trying just chasing behind a white man, you need to be the perfect man. And they set the standards for what a perfect man is the ideal man. Tupac with a PhD, with a business degree and millions of dollars, and basically everything a woman would ever wish for. And it's designed for you never to get it.
I think the gauntlet represents the initial thirst. And once you put the initial thirst in there, you're trying to get all these stones just to impress them. But if you never put
for the
glove
men,
on,
you mean for the guys?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, if you never
And
put
that's
the
why
glove on, you chilling.
And that's why the brothers are going overseas, because all you got to do is be a respectable man, have your shit together, be respectable, and they'll go with you. You all this stuff, they just ain't. They're just demands are not that high. It's not as high as what the system. They do want perfect.
That's why the illustration is perfect. See, when you go, that's what the passport bros experience. They go to an environment where the stones, the parameters for the stones in that environment are different from these parameters. In this environment, to snap respect into existence as a man, you need these particular stones as a black man.
Well, what's the green stone? I can't see the green stone. Roger blocking on the green stone.
The green stone is the 300K stone, the big money stone.
300K or more.
When you watch Kevin Samuels every night, he would ask the women how much money you want your man to have, and it was at least 300K.
And the yellow one is?
The yellow one is basically what does the yellow one say, Raj?
I'm about to show it. I
think it's the matriarchal assistant, man. So it's basically like a pro black. Yeah, it's basically like a pro black, a feminist pro black.
Umar Johnson stone.
Umar.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Umar definitely got his man stone.
Yeah, right. And he may not have the other stone, but he definitely got that one.
No,
this is brilliant. This is brilliant right here.
This is brilliant, but just so you know, and this goes into this philosophy you guys are describing.
Who says that?
Do you think?
Now I'm messing with you. Shout out to Jerome Payne. He said SYSBM has never felt better. Hey, real talk, brother. Real talk. Go ahead, True. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think you're right in that this is like a diversion, because even if you have all of these things, you can't still snap respect, right?
Exactly.
If you have each stone individually, you can't snap respect. If you have all of them together, you don't have the gauntlet, you can't snap respect. But if you got the gauntlet and all the stones, you still can't snap respect.
Well, that's the trick. The trick is the gauntlet only works for women. That's what the trick is.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. That's the trick.
Well, no, that's why I think it's more interesting. I don't think it just only worked for women. When my idea when I was making it, I realized men evaluate other black men by the same thing.
Yes, we do. We take a feminine perspective. You're right.
If you was amongst a bunch of black men and you was trying to snap respect into existence amongst a sample size of all black African American FBA men, the men would find the stone that you don't have, and why they wouldn't necessarily follow your leadership.
Well, they do it all the time, because that's what I was saying. When you talk about anything in forms of leadership, what would people do? They will attack something you made a mistake on, and they act like that just totally disqualifies you from being listened to, which means you have to be perfect. If I cheated on my wife, now I shouldn't be listened to about anything. If I was late to work, I shouldn't be listened to about anything. If I tried to fix a car in some kind of way, but I wasn't quite right and had to, call over a real mechanic, no one should listen to me. That's what they do all the time on a regular. You see it in all types of discussions on a regular basis. We just not paying attention to it. But when black men are talked about, people always try to point something out about a black man. They believe one thing is enough. Well, now that we pointed out your imperfection, we shouldn't listen to you.
Roger, we in these spaces, we had that educated lame versus Pookie argument.
Yep.
And that was basically both sides saying each side didn't have a particular stone. What the key is we operating off of this gauntlet that we didn't necessarily author. The gynocracy authored it to set you up to never be able to achieve true manhood as a man amongst the women, and to really never be able to achieve leadership or cooperation amongst your own men. Because you would never get all of these stones to actually be worthy of leading black men either.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say you know what, before I even say that, shout out to Jerome Payne. He says, with the gauntlet, I flip the table, it breaks into match stickers. Good day. Well, that's the way we all should treat the gauntlet idea. That's the way we should treat it. Real talk. But it is a real thing amongst the average black man that we're not going to treat it that way. We're going to treat it as the most valuable thing. And I'm going to say what the gauntlet is truly useless, because at the end of the day, you really can't attribute the gauntlet until you die anyway. Yeah. The women who don't respect you ain't gonna respect you unless you're dead, and they must believe it's attached to you being protective of black women who don't even deserve protection. If you won't die for those reasons, trust me, look at how they view Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. right now.
Yep. And look at Michael B. Jordan. This is a perfect example. This guy supposed to be 6'2", was judged people's sexiest man in the world by all kind of women, and they still find that they say, well, he's square, a little lame.
But,
and this guy, so what can you do?
He's from the hood, right?
Yeah,
he's from the hood, right?
Philly,
yeah.
Huh? He's from Philly.
No, he's from Jersey. He's from Jersey.
But he can't get that. So if he can't get that, but there's other women all over the world will take him and submit to him instantly in 5 seconds. But black women say, he just ain't perfect enough. For a whole bunch of women, he's very perfect, more than perfect.
Well, you know what? You just said the perfect phrasing right there. He ain't perfect enough. And
exactly. Yeah. And if he were, and let's suppose he decided to get a non-black woman, oh my goodness, they'll be crapping on him like 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Yeah, he has. He got white, Spanish, and Chinese, and they don't like it. They don't want him to have it. But they seem to love him. They seem to like him. But what's her name? Steve Harvey's daughter says he doesn't serve me enough.
Well, I mean,
come on, look where she come from, man.
I mean, regardless of where she come from, my thing is you're always gonna get to the point as a black man where you're still not perfect enough.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Michael Jordan wasn't perfect enough. You know what I'm saying? A lot of NBA players, once they retire, they wives file for divorce. That's what we've been finding out over the last recent years. That as a brother retire, it's a good chance he's gonna file for divorce. Why? Because the status he had as a player is not the same status when he's a former player. So now we can file for divorce.
That ain't it. That's not the totality of it. When they're playing, they're assets. They're not there. So they're reaping the benefits of the finances without him being present. Like they just service him, once a week or whatever the season is and all that other stuff. But when they retire, because some of these guys are still wealthy when they retire, now they're present. Now they have to submit to the man on a daily basis. That's what they don't want to do, no matter how much money you got.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
bridge too far, as they say.
And,
You
and
know.
and 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 it's more difficult for them to fuck on the dudes they fucking on when dude is away.
Yeah.
Because
And
they all have boyfriends. I will
Yes, they
never
do.
believe for a second an NBA wife does not have some on the
They
side.
all have
Now,
them.
for
I have
instance,
friends that have been with them. I have friends who've been with them.
which
Trips to
which
San
I know.
Antonio, to Cali.
Let me tell you, I know people who was with Juanita before the divorce.
Mm,
And I was
I
gonna
believe
say
it.
shout out to Tyson Chandler because he before Black Food put that part in about all them having the wife having boyfriend because I wasn't covering that. I was just saying that because I did do a show on him when his wife asked for a divorce as soon as he retired. I mean the man wasn't even retired good and boom, I need a divorce. So I'm not implying that it's just the thing of them retiring. It's just circumstances are changing and because he's a black man, and the issue is for black women is still I ain't listening to no niggas now. You know what I'm saying? See now that nigga can't really make me do nothing if he gone 9 months out the year. All these different intervals he'll be gone. He might be here a day or two, but then he'll be back on the road. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no thing. But once you retire, he here. He on a regular basis. Especially if he don't get no job doing something else. He just here now. And a lot of women, that's just a bridge too far. Shout out to stepbrother Dryer Repair. He says black men are seen as superior. Every group has codified black men peen policy. White men masterfully cloak it in a language of superiority. Black men lacking in abstract adopt a language of lowliness, making it self-fulfilled. And I'm gonna say most of that is coming from their mamas because black women like slave culture, like I talked about yesterday, and they're going to do everything they can to maintain slave culture. So they're going to make sure their sons never have a reason to have self-esteem. They're going to do everything they can to stop it. You know, and if y'all paid attention to me for a while, that's one of the greatest things I've said about my mother. My mother, I can get past anything I disagree with her due to the fact of who my father is. Because she got one thing absolutely right. And that's who I was born by. You see what I'm saying? So if she got that so right, she don't have to be perfect. I can forgive my mother for not being a perfect woman. I don't ask her to be, but even she do something I fundamentally disagree with because my daddy is who my daddy is, okay, it's cool, ma. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't said I'm agree with it, but I ain't got to be upset about it because of who my daddy is. You see what I'm saying? You can do a lot to me, but you can't tell me nothing about my dad. You know, he ain't never been a mystery to me. And I've seen all the work he's done for myself, my brothers, and being other young men in general, neighborhood guys, all kinds of stuff. Can't tell me about my daddy. So I can forgive a lot when it comes to my mom. Not saying my mom was a horrible person, but I'm saying the stuff I just don't agree with, I can forgive her because of who my daddy is. You know, and unfortunately, a lot of men don't have that. And self-esteem comes a lot from your father from a psychological standpoint. And that's what a lot of people don't get. And as I've told y'all before, all children are seeking to get the approval of their father. And when you don't even have a good relationship with your father, that becomes an almost impossible task. And people take on a lot of negative behaviors because they don't know a way to please their father. You know, it's why girls get into having so much sex and all kinds of stuff because people are trying to fill that hole about, getting your father's approval.
See, what we got, what's hard for us to accept collectively, and I understand it, understandably hard, is that essentially if black community as we've known it up to this point was the military, black males, black men and boys in that military would automatically be privates. You're born as a private, and even grown men are still private class or at least non-officers. The black women are officer class individuals by birth in the black community. White men are like generals compared to black women. So when you recognize it like that, you can understand why the phenomenon we experience as privates trying to get officers to submit to us doesn't sit well with black women. And even some black men understand that we're privates and we're inferiors and we need to submit to our superiors. And once you recognize that, all the discomfort, all the ridiculous standards make sense, because you're essentially asking an officer to fraternize with non-officers, with privates. And that is what, how you accept that or reconcile that is what the mission is as a black man.
Yeah, you're gonna have to just get off that train. Because at the end of the day, you know, my parents told me time and time again, Black Guru came up from one of the James Brown songs, you had to pay the cost to be the boss. And I've said on air multiple times, I basically don't really listen to women. Now, I'm not saying I don't talk to women and hear their stories and kind of quote unquote listen to the stuff they tell me, but I'm saying when women telling me what to do, they don't have no merit for me to listen to them. And it's just real talk. I'm not saying this disrespectfully. I'm not saying this from a misogynistic standpoint. What can they tell me? The average woman can't tell me nothing.
And see, Raj, but let me stop you right there. With all due respect, you know I respect you. This I know you're your father's son, because this is the type of shit that got your father divorced.
Yo, no.
He got to bow down.
No. Let me finish.
No, I agree with that.
He was talking like your daddy think he was an officer. Your daddy thought he for some reason he got the spirit of an officer, and he walking around and think all divorced black men they get out of pocket in turn. If we want to be real, your mama said this nigga he thinks he's an officer for real, and I can't stand for that.
Yo, compassion, real live shit. My mom's got divorced from my step pops because he got a new job, and she quote unquote said he started acting different. I said,
Yes.
what? Because he got some more. He got his confidence got up.
He was trying to get promoted into officer class, and black women that don't sit well with him.
That nigga had the audacity to think he was a leader.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do a show about it, because I said before, and I don't remember if I did this show or not, but I said before, my theory on why divorce is so much the way it is in the black community, because you have black men operating way too patriarchal or acting way too much like men for the comfort of black women. Yes, that's what I really believe divorce is. I know it ain't about finances, even though they say it, and I know it ain't about communication. You know, it's about what's being communicated. I'm gonna be a man regardless of what you're talking about.
Hey, Roger. Today I had some paperwork, and I told my wife I need you to sign this. She's like, "Do I need to read it?" I said, "Well, you know, you're supposed to read everything you sign." But she said, "I trust you," and she just went ahead and signed it. And I had my coconut pancakes. I had my coconut pancakes and some carrot juice with my coconut pancakes today.
Hey, shout out to your wife, man. Shout out to your wife. Now, that's the way it's supposed to be. And you see, I appreciate that. You put up on game. You should read everything you sign. And she's like, well, I can bypass that because it's you. Now, see, that's a legitimate response. I can bypass, and I know there'll be some women say, what, that don't even make no sense. No, that's her husband. If her husband says sign it, it's already good. Now, she can read it if she wants to, but she know I'm already good because my husband already said I can sign it. Simple as that. That's the way it's supposed to be. And shout out to Rosemaster One. He said they've been following Satan for a long time. They were never with Jesus because Jesus has standards.
Hey.
You cold-blooded, brother. You cold-blooded.
Damn.
I ain't gonna argue that either. I'm definitely not gonna argue that. Real talk, y'all. But we are at the 3-hour mark. We 8 minutes past, as truth be told. So what I'm gonna do, y'all, I'm gonna do closing statements. Black Guru, I'm gonna make you last on purpose for this one. Okay, I hope that ain't gonna bother you too much, but I'm gonna make you last. Matter of fact, I shouldn't even say that. I should just say I'm gonna start from forget I said that Black rule. We just gonna start on compassion and courtesy. We gonna work ourselves toward Black rule in. So it ain't even me doing that deliberately. Compassion and courtesy. What you got on this, my brother?
No, great show, bro. Great topic. I know it went a bunch of different ways, but yeah. I'll just say in closing, to the gynocracy gauntlet or whatever, that we got up here. I think it's important that we change those attributes to something that makes more benefit for us to judge each other by, and for the future Black women to judge our young men by. Because if we don't change it, I fear it will stay the same for most Black boys coming up, and they will be chasing this impossible goal, trying to get respect out of women that respect white men just because they're white and for nothing else. So I'll say that, and into the piece of again, I look at it like a military structure, and white men put Black women in charge of Black family a long time ago. And when you think about it, the way Black women react to us trying to, put order and procedure and take a man's place, it's like a private talking out of pocket to a superior, to like a CO, and that's what they just can't say that. So it gets lost in translation, and we bang our head against the wall and figure out what type of leadership and emotional intelligence we need to deploy to get this. No, but it's simply, nigga, I outrank you in this society, and that's where I'll close.
All right, y'all, and y'all, we can just follow straight along. So SYSBM, you'll be next, and y'all see how the screen is. Shark Sims go after him, J-Lo go after him, so on and so forth. Go ahead.
Yeah. Back to the subject, with the situation with Chili, I wish her the best of luck, and hopefully she don't go into debt like she did the last time when she filed for bankruptcy. But what we're going to have to start doing as Black men is that we're just going to have to save ourselves, expand our options and everything else. And that's all I got to say.
All right, my final statement is to all the fellas, audience, panel, F that gauntlet. Because I don't think men should be snapping anyway. And I'm going to leave it right there.
Well, Jado, if you were so graciously speaking, give a closing statement, because I said everybody can just roll. So, Jado, are you there and don't know it's your turn, or are you in the bathroom?
Jado making a sandwich right now.
It's the end of the show. He in the bathroom.
He's trying to ice skate on sand. He got his ice skates on.
We got one more super chat. He gonna get a quick moment. Shout out to Stepbrother Repair. Excuse me, Stepbrother Dry Repair. He says white men see Black men as superior. Hence the ruthless rule of white supremacy deny Black men status. Been window licking, Black men preach the former, not the latter. They reinforce the issue. I'm agree with that. I'm definitely gonna agree with that, and I hope y'all do the same thing. Because they know we are. You just got to accept that we are, and that's real talk. You got to accept it, and we can't make you accept it. That's something you got to do for yourself. And shout out to the Revelator as well. He said she'll be back in debt or close to it. Hey, I'm not gonna wish nothing bad on him, but I am gonna say this: she with a white man now. I don't care what happens. Okay, and I believe that's how Black men need to regard that. She's with a white man now. It is not my concern what happens to her. It is what it is. Jado, are you out the bathroom yet? Jado going once, Jado going twice.
Hey, I'm doing something right now, Roger. Thanks for having me up, though. Appreciate it, man.
All right, appreciate you, brother. All right, Tunnel Runner, go right ahead.
Yeah, Chili's been in a bad spot for a little while. She's not making good moves, and I don't think she's continuing. I don't wish nothing bad for her, but she's not. She has been making a lot of bad moves for a long time. And protect yourself at all times, bro.
All right. Shout out to you, Roastmaster One. He said he sent the cash app. I see the numbers change. I just ain't seen the cash app come in yet. I don't know if you got a message to you, but I'm gonna get it in before we go off, brother. I'm gonna get it in before we go off. My main man kissing my feet, yitch. Any final statement you like to make?
Oh yeah. And yes. Screw the gauntlet. That's some nigga shit. Only reason why they see y'all as niggas is because when these hoes say left, y'all go left. When they say right, y'all go right. They said 6 figures income, and overnight, a bunch of y'all started making 6 figures. I didn't know that y'all were so fast. I don't know. Y'all are surprising. I gotta say, yeah. You
Oh
know,
shit.
hoes say they want 6 feet tall. Y'all went over there and started getting surgery to lengthen your legs. Hoes says they love gangbusters. Y'all start acting a fool, pulling sticks over each other for nonsense so that you can get some credit, some street clout, because hoes run you. Okay, so for me, that's a no. I run hoes. Hoes don't run me. But whenever a hoe say this, I say the opposite. If they say they want that, I say I ain't got it. All right.
Amen.
He said
Thank you.
all his hoes demonetized too. Shout out to you, brother. Shout out to you. And shout out to Roastmaster One. He done came in. He says, great content, bro. Appreciate that. He drops $20.57. Appreciate you big time, Roastmaster One. And appreciate you, brother. I couldn't eat lunch without you yesterday. Couldn't eat lunch without you yesterday, brother. Yeah, that's right. That's right, y'all. I'm doing certain things with certain monies, and I was like, oh, I forgot to put some money over here, and then here come Roastmaster One. I was like, bet I ain't had to go home and get nothing. It made my life way convenient at that time. Okay, so it was a convenience thing because I ain't have my wallet with me. So shout out to you, brother. And I was able
You
to
got Subway,
finagle.
Roger?
No, she dropped me $50. I ate how I wanted to eat yesterday, brother. You know what I'm
Wait,
saying?
you ain't got a credit line in Subways yet?
No, I was just went out. I ain't have my wallet with me, but you know I know people. So when I was like, man, this man sent me $50. Somebody give me, let me hit you with this little cash app real quick. We gonna make this happen or whatever. Because I ain't have my stuff with me that I usually had, that where my money stuff really is. You know what I'm saying? I need to learn some of that stuff by memory though, but I ain't did it. You know, that's on me though, because I ain't done it. let's see. Sharp. No, the Great Black Reset. It's on you.
All right, all right. Yeah, Roger left his wallet in his starter jacket yesterday. That's what happened. But these women are serious about their sexual freedom. This is what they really want. This is what they pushing for. So that's what these standards for. Any woman with high standards, she just wants sexual freedom. And every time you measure up to the high standard, she's gonna find another standard for you to meet, man. You set your standards and deal with the women that are willing to meet your standard. Man, forget what they talk about. And I'll end with that.
All right. Black Uru, it's now on you, my brother. Oh, matter of fact, before you go, Black Uru, shout out to the Revelator. He says, not wishing it on Chili, but the pattern is the pattern. Hey, I mean, we can't do nothing about the pattern. I mean, that's a good point, Revelator. We can't do nothing about the pattern, y'all. And I'm gonna say y'all too, because somebody who be like, well, what, Mount Roger? Hey, I don't put nothing on my phone, y'all. All my financial stuff, I don't put that stuff on my phone. I know some of y'all got credit cards and all that stuff on your phones. I don't do none of that. That's not what I'm doing. In case my stuff come up missing, I'm gonna at least make you work for it. I ain't leaving nothing financial on my phone. It just, that ain't happening. Okay, the only thing I got on there is a cash out. Okay, but yeah, I don't put that stuff on my phone. Real talk. So if I ain't got my wallet, I just ain't got it. It just is what it is. Black Uru, you got the final word, my brother.
Yeah, thanks as always for having me, Roger. Great show. We covered a lot of different territories. Some of them a little bit off subject, but I think we kind of traveled, you know, in the direction we need to go. You know, it's a kind of a sobering thing when you really think about it. That you know, the women of your would, or you perceive to be your group, would put some other man, and your greatest adversary or enemy, I guess, before you as a sort of default thing. Now it is interesting, and in some ways, somewhat comforting that apparently, you know, all women, you know, sort of behave that way. Well, all other non-white women essentially put white men first. So I guess it's just a feature of the female, not necessarily unique to the black female. And I say it's comforting in that it should inform you about how you should view and treat all women, not just exclusively black women. They all are your potential usurpers,
Facts.
your potential traitors, regardless of where they come from, background, obviously upbringing, circumstance, environment will dictate the degree to which certain things happen. But when Genghis Khan ride into town, we're all cannon fodder, brothers. Because Genghis Khan said, you know what, you must have done some terrible shit for God to send me to you. And we're kind of caught up in the aftermath of something that has happened for well over 600 years, really, since the sort of pillaging of the European into Africa and into the North America. And it's been bred into them in a way and to a degree, this treachery that there's really no fixing. There's no praying over it. Well, I'm not religious, so maybe I should speak about such. But there, put it this way: there's no secular cure I see for this inbred treachery. The only thing you can do is create the circumstance, create the environment, wield as strong a hand as possible to either regulate and check their misbehavior and then severely punish their treachery immediately when you observe it occurring. And just as an experiment in your social life, I would recommend that you, if you're in the offings of considering getting married or committing yourself to some black woman, and if you have this available to you, bring around her some Brad Pitt type that you might work with, or some good looking white dude, tall, with all the trimming, so to speak, and just observe, profile her behavior before she encounters that Brad, and while and after she's encountered that Brad. You will find that to be, or Chad, I guess. I guess the good looking white guys are Chads, I guess. Profile her behavior before, during, and after. You may find that to be very informative and enlightening, and even to some degree protective. So, as always, thanks, bro. Thanks for having me, Roger.
I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. And also, shout out to No Placeholder. Appreciate you, brother. He says, reading 1984 changed my view of women. Hashtag long live the habitual line steppers. Hashtag brothers in the wilderness. Hey, appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you. Y'all, I'm just gonna say this, y'all. When somebody gives you a standard that they don't give to anybody else, should you really pay attention to their standard? That's all I'm saying, y'all. if you're gonna give me a standard that somebody else don't have to follow, I automatically don't have to follow it either. It's that simple. Now, that's gonna disrupt a lot of folks' plans. That's a personal problem. It ain't my problem. And I'm not gonna make it mine. And that's just real talk. So if you're new here, y'all, this is the best show on social media. You might as well subscribe. We do this Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Chicago time. Doesn't make a difference where you live unless you live in Chicago. If this ain't 9 a.m. Joliet time, shout out to Trev Bentley. I peeped that yesterday. I think that was this ain't 9 a.m. Waukegan time. This ain't 9 a.m. New York time. Shout out to Shark. You know what I'm saying? This ain't 9 a.m. Florida time. Shout out to Truth Teller. It's 9 a.m. Chicago time, y'all. We do this Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Chicago time. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If y'all ain't already hit that like button, definitely do that. And don't think everything's over. If you ain't seen particular episodes of the Rise Report Live, you can go back and watch some of them right now. Or you can do something even better. You can rewatch something you already saw and get the other niggas that was in that you didn't catch the first time, because they still available there for you. Y'all have a great weekend. Long live the Habitual Line Steppers. I'm Roger. I'm Bright. And I'm out.